Hello, everyone in podcast land. I'm David.
I'm Jono.
And this is the podcast where Jono is sad, David's happy because nothing is prepared and it's all off the top of our head. It's the Let's Wing It podcast.
Well, okay, wait, let me interrupt that because here's the reason.
I'm going to let you finish.
I'll let you finish. But here's the reason why I'm sad is that last week, because we record these on Monday.
Yes.
You know, David's like, oh, last episode of The Last of Us is coming out, this past weekend. And I was like, shoot, what's that noise?
It's a cat.
It's a cat.
What's up, cat?
The cat's
Get the fuck out of here.
the cat's also sad.
Yeah.
No, then David was like, let's talk about The Last of Us. And I was only at episode 3. So I watched.
What a week.
I watched 6 episodes, like almost back to back. Like I shotgun The Last of Us, like until episode 8, of course, on Thursday.
Yep.
And I had to wait 3 days until I watched episode 9.
I am interested to hear your reactions. And we have a treat for you. As you can tell, we're going to talk about the entire season of The Last of Us. We kind of give our first impressions on our very first episode.
Yeah.
But we're also going to talk about other things that we've played, other things we were watching. And we'll probably briefly mention the Oscars that happened last night as of recording. But we won't stick on that too long because by the time you're listening to this on Wednesday or Friday, Wednesday on our Patreon
of our drumettes.
You won't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, TLDR.
Greatest movie of all time. Fucking won everything.
Yeah, let's go.
I am very proud.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give my thoughts in one sentence. I am very happy that a movie that I immediately fucking fell in love with and is absolutely fantastic gives me life. I remember being so hyped watching that movie, but I was like, this is a weird random ass movie. It's not going to do that well.
Yeah.
It crossed over, found some huge mainstream success.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest, best, most eclectic movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Totally had its moment in the sun, and I am so pleased for every single person involved.
Yeah.
Especially Ke Huy Quan.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Here's my kind of perspective, because I have not watched it, right? I'm very public about that. Everyone hates me.
No, I don't hate you. I just think you are missing out on one of the most dynamic and fun, exciting movies you've ever seen.
Clarity. It's not the reason why I don't want to watch it.
Why is it? Because it's Asian cast? What the fuck, Jono?
What the fuck? No, because you fucking lied got me to watch Crazy Rich Asians.
No, it would not have been me.
Yeah. No. It was in Germany. You guys were debating it, and now I'm like, okay. You guys were like arguing really hard about it. 2 white guys arguing about the movie. And this is me going, all right, I haven't watched it, so I will watch it and give you guys my thoughts.
Okay, we're transitioning. We're doing an entire episode on Crazy Rich Asians.
No, this is the worst movie in the world.
It's fine.
It's bad.
It's just like a kind of shitty rom-com.
It's a what's that thing? What's the fill in the word thing? Like
Mad Libs.
It's a Mad Libs, and you just inserted Asian culture in it.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
I thought the movie was fine.
Yeah.
I'm always for better representation in Hollywood, so that's a huge win. Yeah. But other than that, the movie's just okay.
When you think about all the core concepts of the movie and just replace it, it's like you can go Crazy Rich Indians, Crazy Rich South Americans.
I'm surprised we didn't have that. Because they're from Singapore, right? The rich family.
Yeah, to be fair, Singapore is like stupid rich.
Yeah,
it's like no, they're not super.
Well, they
rich.
kill poor people. So.
Well, they kill drug users and everything.
Yes,
but I mean. It's just like a very rich town.
Yeah.
Like you go there, you're like, oh, I'm poor. Yeah. I'm dirt.
Yeah.
Like you just know. But anyways, like I want to watch a movie, but I'm kind of treating it as a movie when I need something. Like I don't want to watch it until like I just feel like I'm ready.
I totally get that. For me, that was Interstellar for a while. I figured.
Really?
Yeah, I decided not to watch it at some point because I'd kind of missed the original window, and I was like, I'm going to save this for a rainy day.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad I did, but I'm also like, I sort of just missed out on, the moment.
I missed out because I waited until it was on Blu-ray and then I watched it. Because like, I just don't go to the theaters that much. I think the only time I had gone to the theater was with you and Cassie and whatever.
Yep.
And it was great. But anyways.
Wow, you were one of the few remaining people that hadn't seen Interstellar. One of the last of us.
The last of us.
We brought it back.
Okay.
Jono, give me, without a score, because I want to do it different than we did They're Just Movies. Yeah. Without a score, give me kind of your general thoughts as to your experience when you binged The Last of Us over the last week.
Okay.
Or most of it. You started before.
I'll do like point form.
Point form.
I think it was great.
Yes.
I thought it was too short. And I think it ended way too soon.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I'll give my summer review. I was so mad that the show existed before I watched it. And then they somehow proved that video games still have a long way to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm a little upset at the feelings that I had watching the show.
Yeah.
But it's not the fault of the show. I think the show was quite excellent.
Yeah.
Not perfect, but I think that overall they did an amazing job adding to the lore of the game.
Yeah.
And picking the moments that matter. There's a few things that I wish were in there, and we'll get into that.
I have a feeling, because I think I'm in the same way. Like, I think it was really good, but they had like a little couple of hiccups here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's why, like, trying to put, maybe to me, like, put too much, or they didn't concentrate on the stuff that I felt like was really important, or stuff that to build on. Because it just kind of felt like they just kind of added stuff in sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One second.
You got the notes?
Yeah, it's not all winged.
You got newts?
I got a little newts.
You got a little newts?
Newts. They're pretty loosey-goosey, though. Yeah. They're not as in detail.
I thought about it all last night, this morning, and then on the drive here.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
There is 2 episodes. Pretty much every episode is on IMDb is rated above a 9.
Really?
So there's 2 that are 8 and below.
Okay.
What 2 episodes do you think are 8 and below?
Oh, I think...
and remember, it's IMDb, and so this is user. So it includes all the people that are...
You don't matter? The people who don't matter that we don't...
Yeah, the people that we're going to make fun of shortly.
I think it was probably the first episode in Kansas City. So I think that was episode 4.
Okay.
And then probably going to be episode... even though I kind of disagree, they probably rated 8 or below on episode 8. The cannibal one.
So I'm pleased to inform you you're wrong.
Yeah.
It is the 3rd episode, which is the Bill and Frank love story.
Oh, fuck that. No,
and the Left Behind DLC episode, where it's Riley and Ellie in the mall.
I think that was a good episode.
I love both of those.
Yeah, because I can't remember who the actress was.
That plays Riley?
Yeah, Riley.
I don't know her name.
She plays a lot of different things. She was in Suicide Squad as the second one. The daughter of Idris Elba's character.
That's her. Oh, yeah, that's her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
And then we're gonna get demonetized. But and also she was in Wrinkle in Time, the Disney remake.
Hadn't with Oprah.
Yeah,
is right? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had zero desire. I think I put it on one time, be like, maybe it's good, and then I think within a minute I was out cold.
I skipped all of Mindy Kaling's episodes, like parts. I'm like, nope, don't care.
Oh, really? I don't hate her.
I do not like her.
Anyways,
I can do a whole episode. Actually, I would love to have Jillian on the episode.
More like Mindy Kaling, more like Mindy No, I'm not gonna make the joke.
That was really close. Getting canceled soon.
It's okay. We're joking, and I don't feel the same way. I think she's brilliant in a lot of stuff that she's done. It doesn't matter.
But anyways, the last I understand why they would go after like number 3, because you can buy bots. It's probably like 5 guys who were just like, I don't like gay themes.
The burger restaurant was like, we fucking hate the homosexuals.
I hate the homosexuals, so I'm gonna go pay this Russian farm to like bomb this episode.
It's funny. I always think it's really interesting reading the 1-star reviews on IMDb, because you can usually tell pretty quickly how much is bullshit and how much is not.
Yeah.
The big common complaint of the 1-star is, for both of them, is these are filler episodes. They don't move the story forward at all. Ugh. And I think the bad faith version of it, of reading that to me, is you actually really are more focused. Like, oh, it's a shitty love story. I hate it. Yeah, okay. Like there's probably some level of homophobia in both episodes, because there is a gay kiss in episode 7, but also, the episode 3 is all about this gay love story. Yeah. Which is absolutely fantastic.
I thought that was like a great, like, I'm like, oh,
it's
nice.
An all-time great episode.
Yeah.
But I think what it tells me is that people are unable to tie together thematically different ideas into one broader, artistic piece.
Yeah.
And like episode 3, it's not focusing on the Joel and Ellie story.
No.
But it's presenting, a different dynamic of the world. It's also giving you a breather. The first 2 episodes are pretty fucking intense, especially the second one.
The end of the second one's like, oh, Tess is dead.
Yeah.
Lame. And I don't know. It just like to me, like they do such a good job of inclusion of everything. Because when I watched the episode with Henry and Sam, and then they're like, "Oh, Sam is deaf. Yeah, Sam is no, he's mute.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's mute." And then I was like, "Was he mute?" So I just like today before coming here, I'm like, Henry and Sam in the Last of Us game. No, they just talk.
Yeah,
and I was just like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been looking for because I love inclusion, but I hate when people are loud about it. I just don't want them to be like, by the way, this is my partner. He's gay. I just don't like that. It just go like, you guys are together. Cool. I can just move on. Just don't make a big deal about it.
I think that's fair. I think you can, you're kind of identifying when things are pandery.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. The Last of Us never felt pandery.
No.
And I think the love story of Bill and Frank is so lovely and so warm.
No, it's just so lucky too.
Yeah, and it's great showing you the side of the world.
Yeah.
I think to me the complaint that is kind of valid is it was real easy to keep that town safe.
No, yeah.
Like you see kind of like one montage of, some raiders like half-heartedly trying to get in there. And then the other complaint that is, I think, also kind of valid. These are such nitpicky complaints, though, because I think overall the series is fantastic.
Yeah.
Joel doesn't really take any of the good guns.
Yeah.
He walks into this room. It's like these walls full of tactical assault rifles.
He doesn't need it.
And he takes this slow ass bolt action rifle.
Let's be fair. Okay, this is like super spoilers, but whatever. Episode 9, he just fucking goes on rampage mode.
Yeah,
it's so sweet.
We'll talk about it.
But I mean, here's the part that I love is that he just kind of he's so adaptable. He would go from oh, no gun to gun to really good gun, then really bad gun, and then just ends up with a pistol.
Yeah, he will kill you no matter what the fuck he's given.
So to me, I'm Joel's just a one-man army because he knows how to fight.
Well, and I think that the show does a good job. I like that in the by the way, huge spoilers we're talking about the whole thing.
Yeah.
You figured it out by now.
Yeah.
If you're still listening, I'm so sorry if you weren't planning on hearing the whole thing.
It was so funny because Jillian's because she didn't watch it with me. Because she's I'm just going to take my time. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And she's I'm like, don't spoil it for me. I'm like, oh, here's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Joel saves Ellie. She's like, no. But that whole sequence was so good.
You're talking the final episode. I don't want to get there yet.
Okay.
I want to stay on some of the earlier stuff where they've changed.
Do you want to concentrate on what things we didn't like?
No, I want to start with the positive.
Positive?
Well, I think we're going to kind of move through it. So we talked about episode 1 on that first episode. So if you want to hear our thoughts on episode 1, go all the way back.
Our most popular episode.
The first episode. The first episode will always been the most popular.
Is it? Really?
Yeah. The second one it starts with that Indonesian scientist being brought in to kind of what did you think of that? Because that's not in the video game. They don't ever really give you the origin story of the fungus.
Even the first episode, the little first scene of talking about.
I forgot about that.
I think it was good because to me it's they didn't really explain too much because here's the one thing I don't love about The Last of Us is that it doesn't give me world building unless I have to go search for news clippings and shit. I don't want that. Just this. I'm a mainstream maggot. Just spoon feed me the story.
I think my counterpoint would be that The Last of Us story isn't about the fungus. It's about the people and how they live through it. So that understanding the origin of the spread of the disease is just set dressing. And it's not essential to the core story, which is the redemption and / fall of Joel.
And revenge cycle.
Well, that's the second one. The second one's more about the revenge cycle.
But
I can't wait.
But here's my thing is that here's the reason why I think they did it is so they could just shut everyone up about thinking why these things happen or why did the cordyceps was able to spread and et cetera
I thought it was clever because they don't give you too much. They don't show you.
They give you enough.
Yeah, you only get, Z-Day from Joel's perspective / Sarah's perspective, which is exactly like the game.
Yeah.
A little built out. Again, go check out episode 1.
Yeah.
But I think the show pretty quickly, and this is, I think, a fault that is valid, and it's something that I've seen echoed online. After the first 2 episodes, the zombies aren't really a big part of the show.
No.
There's one other big zombie scene, which is fucking awesome. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But overall, the show does not have very many zombies in it.
To be fair, I think. Well, no, I don't. The game had like a good balance between like humans and
and you probably dispatch and or sneak past at least 100 or several hundred infected.
Yeah, I think too. I think it's fair. I think the show can't concentrate on the cordyceps too much because I think they said they cost like I think one of them the clickers they cost like at least like $10,000 to $20,000 per day. Just
to put them in the makeup,
the makeup, and also the hiring the actors because the actors have to like stay there for like they're like working 16-hour days.
Well, those are the same. One of the things I appreciated was that they cast a lot of the voice actors / motion capture actors in the game. So the people that are the clickers in the show were the clickers in the video game.
I mean that to me, I'm like that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, shout out. I don't know if you noticed, but I was like hyper aware of the voice actors when they showed up.
Oh yeah.
Like across the show.
Yeah.
Tommy. Voice actor is the lieutenant in Kathleen's army. So the guy with the long hair and the beard in Kansas City. That's Tommy's voice actor. He was great. Joel, so Troy Baker.
Yeah.
He's
Jesse?
No. So he's James.
Is it James?
In the David in like the Cannibal Tribe episode.
Yeah.
Laura Bailey, actually,
who's Abby,
who's the voice actor for Abby. She was in the most recent episode. She's one of the nurses.
Yeah. But you don't hear her talk, so you wouldn't.
No, that one I needed someone to point online.
Yeah.
Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie, she's Ellie's mom. Yeah. In the last episode,
I read something that they like talked to her, like Troy and Neil and Kel, the co-creators. They like messaged her, and she's like, "Hey, would you like to like be Ellie's mom?" And apparently, Ashley just like broke down, like cried because she's like, "I would love that." Because it's such a like in a weird meta kind of thing. It's like, Ellie is kind of like Ashley Johnson kind of gave birth to this character. And I was like, that's so cool. Yeah. And then here's the thing is that that whole sequence was never in the game.
No.
And they didn't really explain why Ellie has like the genes or the cure or immune to it.
Yeah, she just was immune and you didn't really know why.
Yeah, but this one's like, it's because of this XYZ. Marlene explains it like really quickly, really effectively.
But it works. And it makes a lot of sense. I thought that was actually kind of brilliant.
Yeah, but to me, I'm like, can you just kind of like try to replicate that?
Well, that's actually, I had that same thought in the final episode of like, when he's lying to her, he's like, there's dozens of other people that have this. I'm like, but like, there could be.
Yeah.
Like just like find a bunch of, it's awful. You have to make a farm of sacrifice, but you were willing to sacrifice one person. What's the difference?
Granted, I think the whole storyline is like they can't do it because that was like the last doctor that was capable of doing it.
I think you find that out in the second game.
Yeah, the second one.
The last like neurosurgeon or whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, one thing I kind of want to talk about because you've played the game way more than I have.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we both haven't played the, what was it called? Remake? Is it reboot?
The remake, yes.
Yeah, because it's core game, reboot. Oh, no, remaster, and then remake. So,
I played, we'll briefly go over it. I have my original copy of The Last of Us for the PS3.
Yeah.
And then I get the year after when it came out on PS4, I played it again on PS4, probably twice.
Yeah.
And then, I played the DLC once or twice.
Yeah.
I like the DLC, but it's kind of a walking simulator, so it didn't feel like super necessary to revisit.
Yeah.
And then when The Last of Us came out, I played it twice immediately, and then I've started a third playthrough.
Yeah.
Made my stupid fucking hour and a half long video essay, which is banger. You should check it out.
It's not stupid. It's really good.
It's great. I'm very proud of it.
I like how it's stupid, but it's a banger.
It was stupid because I never really did anything else like it, so it was like so much effort to...
I mean, Riley was kind of like... Wasn't Riley helping you at all? Because he did a lot of video game essays.
He did, a lot of the same stuff. And I should get back to it. Shout out, let me know. Send me a tweet.
Yeah.
A tweeter.
Just
if you want more videos. I'm not going to do more videos like that. I'm going to do short form, easy to produce in 1 week videos.
Just do 10-minute voiceover videos.
That's probably, I want to show my face because I want to make my face more valuable. So when I get jobs, I can make more money.
Ching, and I become your agent.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, the reason why I'm asking is like, that whole Kansas City part.
Yes.
Honest to God, I don't remember that. I'm like, was this in the game?
So it's in the game. And the way you approach the city is fairly similar. You get to a spot and you're blocked. And
I remember that part.
You get rammed.
No. It was that guy trying to trick you saying he's hurt. And then Joel's like, fuck this. And like tries to like kill that guy.
I think you try and do that, but I think you get like hit by a semi or something.
Oh, do you?
I think. I can't. It's been a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's Pittsburgh instead of Kansas City, which is a super small detail.
Yeah.
But they, it's much more vague. You know, it's just kind of like a rebel force that overthrew Fedra.
I mean, that's the same thing.
But there's no leader. There's no like specific story.
Oh, there's no
like,
Kathleen. Yeah, because I was like, was there a Kathleen?
No, there's no Kathleen. And Henry is on the run, and I think he says vaguely like, I did some bad things, kind of thing.
Yeah, I was like, we all did bad things.
We all did bad things. Like Joel understands or whatever. Yeah. But the fact that they fleshed out that story, I quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think Kathleen is a really interesting choice as that actor because, she has that high pitched voice, and she's kind of like, she seems sort of not hard. Yeah. Like kind of soft to start.
She seems like the extreme, like I like Kathleen. I kind of understood her. Mm-hmm. And, actually just thinking about it right now, just like you describing, she's a Karen. Let's just be honest. She's kind of like a Karen, but she's a justified Karen that you kind of go, yeah, Fedra, like, because they explain how Fedra was like just like raping and murdering people. Like they were like literally, they made ISIS look good.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing is they made her brother seem like Jesus.
Well, I think that was the idea, but I think that they actually did a pretty good job with very little. So the Tommy's voice actor, I can't remember the character's name, but the lieutenant, she's like, at one point she says like, I know my brother wouldn't want me to kill Henry.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not my brother. And he's like, your brother isn't here. Like you're the reason that we won.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a cool little detail. That they like, everyone knows that like, this isn't good. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Good doesn't win wars.
Yeah. But here's the thing too, is kind of like weird part. It's like, she was like describing, it's like, did you go to like our family house? It's a good trip. I'm like, bitch, I'm not going to go to your family house. I was like, dude, like, I'm like, I will die going there just to do a pilgrimage. So that's why I'm like, oh shit, this is Jesus. Like, yeah. But it's like, they treat him like, this is like a whole biblical thing. It's like they literally made Henry Judas.
He like betrayed him
to get cancer medicine, all leukemia pills.
I mean, honestly, if Judas betrayed Jesus for leukemia medicine, that'd be a little bit more justified than 30 pieces of silver. Or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think that whole situation was crazy. The visuals were amazing, like showing like that body getting dragged, and you see like 1,000 knives stabbed into it. I'm like, whoa, this is fuck.
Wait, what? I don't remember that.
Do you remember that? Because it was Henry and Sam when they finally left their little like safe house.
Yeah.
And they were kind of going on the street, and then he was trying to be quiet, and then there was like a body getting dragged by a car, and it was full of like little knives.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it was really hard to miss because like it was really dark.
Yeah,
but it was just like, whoa, this is fucked.
Oh yeah, like when they've overthrown Fedra. Yeah. Okay,
and then he's trying to, and that's when they meet up with Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed both of those episodes.
Yeah,
I like the way that they end. Joel and Ellie's bonding episode with them, Sam and Henry pointing the guns at them, and they snuck up on them because he slept on the ear that is the good ear.
Oh,
and they kind of set that up, which is cool. It's like little details.
Well, I thought it was because
necessary,
but I thought it was like, he was like a little like kid, right? Just like
no. So they established that he can't hear well out of the one ear, whatever, which they'll develop later. But they show him putting on the broken glass on the ground.
I was like, I'm remembering this.
Yeah, and it's like the game. If you step on broken glass, it crunches. The show is so good for little details that are in the video game, but also in the show without them being really shitty.
Yeah.
Like even in the most recent episode, you boost Ellie up to the second level.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's like the game. And then she's like, okay, I'll drop down the ladder.
Yeah.
And then just like the game.
Yeah.
She drops the ladder because she's like, oh shit, okay. And I thought that was such a cool little detail. That's like, if you play the game, you're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But if not, it's just a good little character building moment.
Yeah. I think it was just like Naughty Dogs or Neil or that team who made the game does such an effective way to make me care about the smallest detail. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the graphics are great, they're photorealistic or ish.
Yeah.
But like you can see like all little sorts of like when Joel is like looking at stuff, like this is in the game, you hold circle and he just grabs stuff, but his hands will go where the things are and like he'll open the drawers and it just feels so good.
I think what really sells Naughty Dog games is those details.
Yeah.
And I think more than anyone else in this industry, they have absolutely cutting edge performance capture, but also the technology to reproduce it with high fidelity in terms of like human communication.
Yeah.
Like other video games, you play them and in comparison are absolutely so stiff.
Yeah.
And like even like really high end big budget games, especially, you know, open world games.
Yeah.
It's just like people kind of just stand there and, you know, you can see the difference between their body capture and their face capture.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like stiff on both. And then like the face is sort of moving. Whereas a Naughty Dog game, it looks like it's not real. It's not a human, but it's as close as video games have gotten.
You care about the person. You're like,
yeah. And not in terms of like necessarily technical sharpness and fidelity.
Yeah.
But in terms of communicating some form of humanity and emotion.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog is still, I think, the top.
I think I will say they're the top. I won't say they're the perfect one because I think here's my kind of counter. No, well, not really counter. I think if I was going to add someone to that list or be just as good, Hideo Kojima, like Kojima Productions. Because when you see like Death Stranding and stuff, everything feels really organic. Like him moving through the place, going up hills. It just feels really organic. Granted, there are cartoony moments because, you know, Hideo is just a troll sometimes. But I think that's what it is.
I think I absolutely love Kojima.
Yeah.
I liked Death Stranding a lot. I've started it like 3 times and played like 15, 20 hours, and I always kind of fall off it around the same point.
I had to fall off because my PS4 could not handle it.
Embarrassing.
Oh, I had the original PS4.
Oh, wow. No, I'm joking. There's nothing wrong with owning a PS4.
Yeah.
But what I find his games often lack, or he's very cerebral in his stories and, you know, presentation. And so oftentimes, even though like performance capture is really high fidelity, it's still, you know, it doesn't feel as human. Like when you watch Norman Reedus do his actions, it's incredibly detail focused. And you can tell, like I saw recently on Twitter or whatever, if you zoom in with the camera when he's sitting down on his crotch, he'll like put his hands over his crotch.
Yeah.
So there's these little really good details.
Yeah.
But because the theme and the story itself is so cerebral and weird, I find the humanity is sort of sucked out of it. Like Death Stranding doesn't feel like humans being humans. It feels like a weird sci-fi idea with these weird alien creatures kind of filling in the spots of humans.
Yeah.
And I love that story. I think it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I think Naughty Dog has humanity down to a
Oh,
pat.
for sure. Yeah. I think, you know, because Hideo doesn't make those games of just like, oh, let's just make a show about people. He'll talk about macro things.
Yeah, and weird,
we've
lost connection. We must deliver things.
That person needs the pizza.
Yeah. And like, that's what will save the world is a pizza delivery, man. I love Hideo Kojima.
So, I mean, okay, cool. So I think we're in agreement there. But yeah.
Fanny. Such a little slut for pets.
Yeah, you're a little thing. We have a cat. What was I talking about?
You were saying that Hideo Kojima is the other person that can kind of...
No, before that. Like, what did we tangent from?
I think we tangented from high fidelity human capture, Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
We're going back.
Yeah.
We were talking about Kathleen, Henry, Sam.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk. Okay, so we're in Kansas City right now.
Yes.
So let's talk about
good barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue. Kansas City. Thank you, Matthew Noonan. Oh, drum it. Sending us all those sauces. Okay, let's just kind of like let's talk about that second episode. So of Kansas City, part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is like I think the more meat and potatoes of the Henry. It is the meat and potatoes of the Henry and Sam story.
Yeah. So one thing I had a question about. So at the end of the episode, you know, we'll talk about this a bit. That, you know, the infected kind of spill out in the streets. So I think they kind of like they hinted at the beginning that like Henry's like, yeah, there's one thing that Fedro was really good is like getting all the infected
out of the city,
in the sewers or in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Like, was that in the game?
Not really.
Yeah.
So the surface is human threat. So you go into the city, you know, you get rammed, and you're fighting all the bandits or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when you go underground, there's like you find the same little classroom and like society that was underground.
Yeah.
But you can tell that they've been attacked by infected.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show, when they go in the tunnel, they're expecting infected, but there is no infected.
Yeah.
Because they know that the infected went underground, but you're like, oh, where are they?
But I think they're deeper underground.
But they're deeper. They burrowed, which I don't think that's in the game. And so they are escaping the city. Things are all good.
Yeah.
I think making Sam younger than he was in the game, but also deaf, just adds like a layer of sympathy, sympathy to that character that you just like, you got to protect him at all costs.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was really kind of like interesting just showing like how the experience levels of all this is a D&D, like the whole party members, like Joel's like, this is a bad idea. Henry's like, no, it's fine. Let's do it. And Sam's just like there for the ride because he's just his brother. And Ellie's just like,
Yeah. Well, and I think they did a good job differentiating Joel and Henry's skill sets.
Yeah.
Like Joel is, the fucking DPS survivor dude. He'll kill anyone.
Yeah.
Whereas Henry's a little more like slinky and like stealthy.
He's the bard.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, sort of. But they both have these treasured people that they must protect.
Yeah.
And I really felt that. And I thought it was an interesting scene to add when Sam talks to Ellie or shows that he's been bit.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh fuck. But she's like, I was bit. And like maybe my blood, can save you.
I like that because it just stomps all the theories. Like, oh, maybe the blood in this universe kind of like removes that.
It's true. It's like we've tried the solution, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And then I think we both want to talk about it. Let's talk about the end of that episode.
It's heavy. And I mean, I knew it exactly. No, based on the video game, I had expectations that, that was going to happen.
Yeah,
and
me too.
They, like they do in most of the show, the important beats, they do basically exactly how the video game plays out.
Yeah.
And that is that might be the darkest point of the show for me.
Really? No, I think episode 8 was pretty dark.
I think
it got kind of like manic and monsterish.
I guess it depends how you define it, because I think episode 8, it's showing a darker side of humanity.
Yeah.
But I think going from the huge victory we just saw Joel, Henry, Sam, and Ellie go through to this absolute heartbreak in just like minutes of showtime.
That's fair.
Is maybe the hardest turn that the show takes, where like because before that, even before that,
it was really sudden. It's really sudden because you're just like,
boop. And even when you're expecting it, you're just like, hey, maybe Ellie will save him. Oh no, he's a zombie.
No.
Oh fuck. And then the way that scene plays out, where Henry is unable to handle Sam, being infected, and so Joel goes to kill Henry.
He was going to try. He was going to try.
Sam, and Henry's like, fuck no, points the gun at him.
Yeah.
But as the scene plays out, Henry's smart enough to know, I have to kill.
Well, I mean,
Sam.
you can see like it's muscle reflex for him because he just like one shot did it, and then he realizes going, what did I do?
And like the moment leading up to him pulling the trigger on himself, fucking so heartbreaking. And I'm glad they didn't like do a gratuitous.
No,
they do a little bit with Sam. Like they show a big blood puddle. If I'm not,
but the thing is that you don't see
mistaken.
like it's like they didn't make it a gore fest of like, oh, half his head is gone.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Like,
that would have been so distasteful.
Yeah.
But then he turns on himself, and then it's kind of like one of the big traumatic moments for Ellie, where it's like things things have gotten obviously very real for her.
Yeah.
She participated in the death of her first person other than Riley, which we'll find out later.
Well, no. I don't think she. No, I disagree with that. Like she didn't really like kill that person.
But in the sense of like someone she knew and
couldn't save.
Yeah. You can see that it's like one of the first big moments on. That's not true. There's a lot of moments that break through to her, but it was a big moment for her. Character growth as well.
Yeah, because it kind of leads up to why she feels at the end.
Yeah, and so let's continue through.
Oh, actually, no, wait, no. Let's go one step back, because when I said ending, I misspoke. Ending to the last like huge, like kind of like almost the last huge battle scene.
Yeah, shout out that. So that this episode is the highest rated one on IMDb. It's 9.5.
You know why I think it is?
I think that fucking emergent scene is the sickest zombie scene I've ever fucking seen.
Here's the thing is that I love the book version and maybe a little bit of the movie version of World War Z, because it has the book, at least the book, has a lot of like, how do governments and groups of people handle the zombie or post like the apocalypse of zombies, and then this one was kind of like how does what is 1,000 soldiers, 100 soldiers versus 1,000 cordyceps? It's like that battle simulator, and just want to see what happens. Yep. And then this was the first time you see the big boy come out.
Yeah, the bloater.
Yeah, so that whole scene was super cool because you see it, the first part of it, then you see part 2 of it, them actually just emerging out.
Yeah, and it's such an effective scene. Like we've talked about, the movie, the show does a really good job taking video game moments and putting them on screen without it feeling really fake and cheesy fan servicey. But that was another one, like that whole setup, like that neighborhood. Yeah. You're like, I recognize exactly where I am in the video game. Yeah. But the emergence of the zombies is so much fucking cooler in the show. Yeah. That was the first moment I was like, oh shit, the show is better than the video game.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, I think the video game would have loved to be that cool, but it was so hardware limited.
It's a PS3. The fact that they did as good as they did on the PS3 is absolutely phenomenal.
Because like the episode was just like you're Joel and just sniping zombies and people.
I think there's a few parts to it. At one point, it's all a little bit jumbly in my head. Yeah. But yeah, there's a sniper and you have to get up to him and kill him. And then I think you play as the sniper shooting the zombies to help them approach. Yeah. But there might be like some rebels at some point, but there's not really a core leader of the rebels that you see get decimated or anything like that. And it was so cathartic because you understand Kathleen, but you fucking hate her. Yeah. And you hate all her people. And you're like, just let them get away. Just fucking let them get away.
Except for his lieutenant, like Tommy, like the actor who plays Tommy. Like, I'm like, oh, that guy's cool.
Yeah, but he's
bad guy cool. He's bad guy
cool. And he lost out on my sympathy when he's like, yeah, he acknowledges that the brother who was the hero, the Jesus character, wouldn't have wanted this, but he's like, fuck it, you want it, let's do it. Yeah. And you're like, okay, you're evil. Well, I mean, and like the fact that she knows that how vile of a thing it is to kill a fucking 8-year-old.
And a doctor. Yeah. And a doctor, like a trained medical profession. Yeah,
because he might have helped save one person.
Yeah. So I think it was really cool. And then you just see like that Tommy guy just goes like, run and don't look back. And then instantly just gets fucked. Yeah. You're like, whoa. Granted, honestly, in a post-apocalyptic world like that, either I would like to get shot in the head, just like instant death, or it would be scary for the half second and then it'll be over.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for in a situation like that is quick.
Yeah, I am disappointed that I didn't see a bloater in the game.
In the show?
In the show. Yeah,
well, he's the one.
No, he's not.
That's not a bloater. What are the bloaters?
The bloater is the one that they explode, and then Joel, you can't see anything. And then
I thought that was like a Left 4 Dead thing. I don't remember those in Left 4 Dead. No, in Last of Us.
No, I think he just explodes like really big.
I can't remember.
Oh man, I can't remember. But
yeah, I think we're conflating Left 4 Dead zombies and Last of Us zombies.
I mean, they're all so similar.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because especially all the new ones too. They all end up having like the same types. Like Back 4 Blood had all the same ones as Last of Us.
I mean, the same developer.
Yeah, and they were not hiding the influence.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so we move on from episode 5, which is the highest rated one. Yeah. Into episode 6, which is when Joel and Ellie arrive in Tommy's town, and one of the
is it?
Yeah, that's the next episode. One of the big departures in the show makes, and I think this is again a smart one. Yeah, it seems like it's the same town that you are starting in Last of Us 2. So it
is.
Yeah, but that's in Last of Us 1, the game. It's just like a hydro dam that they're living in. It's not the same society.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just go. It's the same town, like just it's like because they probably like when they wrote the first one and built the first one, they didn't have the technology, didn't have the time to really flesh it out.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's a different part of the world or a different part of the States.
I think Jacksonville. I think it was Jacksonville.
I think they might have made it all the same, but in the game, it's definitely like where he lives is not. They find that new town for part 2, like in between. I think it's smart to do some world building for the future, then it kind of more tightly integrates it.
It's not bad. It's like, to me, I'm like, meh, makes sense.
And you get a little flash of potentially, I think it's Dina.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little setup. I wonder if it'll be the same actor. I find sometimes when they, do stuff like that, it's always a shame in the second season when they inevitably get a new actor. Actually, they might not.
Here's one thing I got pissed off with. Forbes did this article. So Actually, wait, no. Just actually keep building up. I'm gonna find this episode. Hey.
Oh, bye, Fanny.
Bye, Fanny.
And so they arrive in the town, and just like the game, Joel decides I am not suited to take Ellie all the way, and he kind of has these PTSD flashbacks, which is the meme you might have seen.
I love
the Joel
I love those memes. It's so
he's
good.
Having these panic attacks, which I think is a great little setup and payoff within the episode. And he decides I can't do it. Like everyone I've ever loved dies around me, so Tommy, why don't you take her? And I appreciated a fuck ton in this episode.
Yeah,
that they didn't drag out Joel abandoning Ellie for super long time. He talks about it with Tommy. Tommy's like, fine, I'll take her.
Yeah.
He goes and tells Ellie, sorry.
What
like,
a big
I can't
ask
do it.
When you think about it.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like life or death.
Yeah.
But then the next scene is Ellie going to get on the horse and Joel is there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank God they didn't drag out this unnecessary drama. Because it's such bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's like a bad episode it's bad writing when they drag out that drama for so long.
Yeah.
Thank God. I really appreciate it when writers know well enough that audiences just don't want that fucking tension to exist.
Yeah.
And they just paid it off. They got there. And then we get to enjoy Ellie and Joel fucking loving each other still.
Yeah. Well, not yet.
At that point, they're pretty fucking happy. And
they're like, what's up, dude?
They love each other. Yeah. For sure. And
not yet. I think at the beginning of episode 9, they kind of appreciate each other.
I think it's growing and growing, but I think at that point they already love each other.
Yeah.
And so that episode, they end up at the university, which is a much longer part in the game.
Yeah.
It's very brief in the show. And instead of him, fighting his way out and getting impaled on rebar, falling off the second level, he just gets stabbed by a raider dude.
Yeah. So that was interesting because it was I vaguely remember that, and I was like, "Oh man, Joel, you can just fuck this guy up with a gun, just shoot him, in the face."
Well, and he does kill him, but not before he gets stabbed.
Yeah,
and that guy will be very specifically called back upon.
Yeah,
in a later episode.
All right, this is what I just want to show you. So Forbes article had this as a title, which kind of made me mad. So you're gonna have 1 second. I'm just gonna flash it to you, and you have to tell me what you kind of read it, because you talked about a certain topic before. So, all right. What did that say?
I only saw Bella Ramsey 100%.
Yeah. So how I looked at that article. So this is a Forbes article, and it's written so shittily. So it's like Bella Ramsey is 100% confirmed not getting recast in The Last of Us next season. Why did he had to choose those words?
Because it's the most clickable, because it's confusing. And you're like, wait, no, they're going to recast her? And if you read it slowly and carefully, you're like, no, they're not going to recast her.
So it's like, okay, Forbes, do fucking better. Like I understand clickbait, but that was shitty clickbait.
Yeah.
And because when you mentioned maybe maybe Dina might get casted somewhere else.
Yeah. I
just remembered this article. I'm like, I hate how titles are getting to this point.
It's frustrating.
But that whole Tommy sequence was kind of a weird episode for me, because it just kind of happens. And the only kind of real tension, there's only 2 moments of tension, is Joel and Tommy talking, and then Tommy has a kid on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the episode where the dog might sniff out Ellie.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat little trick.
Yeah.
I can't disagree. I think the show focused on, the human drama.
Yeah.
And, the character to character tension.
Yeah.
Rather than these big zombie tense moments or these big action set pieces.
Yeah.
But I love those episodes. To me,
you just need a break.
Well, yeah, I need a break. I think the show was really well paced for giving me really intense and then kind of a break. And that's episode 6, so that's after we saw Sam and Henry fucking die.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have an episode where that wasn't as much of an issue.
But also you can kind of see this is because something in the show did that you don't see in the game is Joel having panic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of see just Joel kind of existing in the game, and being the hero, because he is the hero.
Yeah.
Quote.
Well, and it's something I think that is a broader discussion point in terms of the games versus the TV show.
Yeah.
In the games, they don't make it explicit that, Joel is a murderer. He's like, he's surviving. He's doing this shit.
Yeah.
But when, as an audience member, you kind of take a step back and you're like, I just killed hundreds of people. Like hundreds of people that are also trying to survive.
I think.
Does that make me a bad person? Probably, yeah.
Because The Last of Us, the game, part 2, really identified your consequences. Like they did a really good job. And then I think episode 8, this is one reason why I kind of really liked episode 8 a lot more than the barbaric nature of man.
Yes.
But it's just like, because that whole episode kind of highlighted one event that happened episode and
6.
Is it
end of 6? Because 7 is the flashback episode.
Right. And it's end of episode 6. Then what happens to episode 7 /
We'll talk about 7. Let's go to that moment in 8 where basically it's like, it's a small tribe, a cult of people.
Yeah.
And they're pissed because their buddy is the guy who tried to kill Joel, but Joel killed.
Yeah.
And so they feel like, Joel needs to die.
Yeah. Which is it's a foretelling what's going to happen in season 2.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
We'll come back to that episode. Let's go back to the flashback episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Which again, it's a nice little breather.
I didn't even think it was that much of a breather because it got pretty intense.
Oh, at the end. Yeah. I really enjoy that episode. And I think that The Last of Us is a human story. It's not about the zombies.
Yeah.
And I think the game has a slightly better balance of, seeing the consequences of the zombies within the human story. And I'm excited that they've said that the second season will have more zombies, but
I don't care. I really don't care.
I want a little bit more. Because like looking back, it's episode 1 and 2 and the finale of
1, 2. Yeah, finale 5.
And then that's kind of it. That's kind of it. There's like 1 or 2 other zombies that kind of kick around, but there's not like...
Yeah. Oh, I guess there's only 1 zombie instance in 8. No, 9. Right at the beginning. Ashley Johnson?
Oh shit! Yeah.
There is like one. Yeah, and like that's one.
In episode 7, there is literally 1 zombie because basically what happens is it's the flashback with Riley and Ellie, and so kind of seeing how her feelings and stuff. And so I really enjoyed, going to the mall, seeing the world from a different perspective. I think the show did a good job, kind of explaining how Ellie's character doesn't see the world the way we do. Like we've seen the world outside of the apocalypse. But, it's all new to them, that generation of people that were born into the apocalypse. Yeah,
because here's the thing. I think that moment was really conveyed visually. Like, whoever was the DP on that show, it's like gold star, dude.
It must be the same person who did Chernobyl because it looks so similar sometimes.
Yeah. It's just like when whoever the girl, what was the girl's name?
Riley?
Yeah. When Riley switched on the...
that was a great moment.
And just see it go... And like for us, we go to the mall, we're like, I hate the mall.
Yeah.
But it made me appreciate what I know and what I would be Joel in the world.
100%. Yeah.
Because
gristled and bitter.
And just bitter and just like whatever. But then I would be the person trying to explain it to all these kids who grew up at Fedra and QZs and going, because like these kids are loving like Walkmans, like Sony Walkmans, which is really cool. And it's a shout out to Sony because they have supported NaughtyDogs really well.
Yeah.
And in using a piece of tech that is pretty much bulletproof. And it's just amazing because it's just like it just showed all these things that I remember as a kid going to arcades, going to, I think it was just like what did he do? They went through to an arcade. They did like clothing stores, I think. And then they had the fight.
Fuck, I'm trying to remember specifically. Yeah, the arcade is the big one.
Yeah.
They do the photo booth.
I think that the photo booth is when they had the fight.
No, I think it's at the Halloween store, isn't it?
No, they made up in the
anyways, yeah.
But anyways, that's kind of disjointed. But it just made me appreciate everything I remember as growing up as a kid because they played Mortal Kombat. I played Mortal Kombat.
That was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
And she mentioned it earlier in the season that she liked Mortal Kombat 2. And then early in the episode, you see a poster. She has Mortal Kombat 2. And then at the arcade, there is Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I think it's a little too neat that it's always Mortal Kombat 2. Like it should have been like I love Mortal Kombat, and then like in the poster she has Mortal Kombat 2, and then in the arcade is Mortal Kombat 3 or something. I don't
It's
know.
like, oh,
this is such a stupid nitpick.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of cool. But here's my kind of like, if I'm gonna be like a nerd going, this doesn't seem realistic, is that that mall's using a lot of power.
Yeah, and they said like, oh, they forgot to cut it off or whatever.
Yeah, and it's also like there's no infected in here. But then when you see that everything gets light up, it's an open roof kind of like mall. So I'm like, someone in the city must see this,
because I don't think the cities are operating as brightly as they once were, and so like the light pollution, it doesn't exist. So any light would cast.
Yeah,
again, it's a nitpick.
Yeah,
but I can agree with that because I was like, yeah, this wouldn't quite be as easy. But I think something that's kind of vague is how many people really exist in those cities.
Yeah,
like is it like hundreds? Is it thousands?
It's probably like hundreds, thousands.
Do you think hundreds of thousands?
Yeah.
The show didn't give me that scale. I think you're probably right. Realistically, that's what it would be. But I didn't get the sense that there was that many people.
I don't think they're gonna like they're gonna tell it like that anyways, because like
it doesn't matter.
It's like, it's just like one quick B-roll shot that's like gonna show the city.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna cost like $30,000. Or they're like, we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it on something else that's more practical, because who gives a shit?
Yeah,
because you're out of the city anyways.
Yeah, to me the thing that kind of told me the scale was way smaller, or like the amount of survivors was way smaller, was the fact that Bill and Frank were allowed to exist in that small town without too much attack.
Yeah,
because like if there's like in the United States, what, almost 400, it's like 330 million people right now.
360.
So half die, 150 million die.
No,
right
not even
away.
half. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Like there's still a lot of fucking people around.
Yeah, it's still a lot.
Even if like 75% of people die immediately.
Yeah.
That's still like almost 100 million people still kicking around.
Yeah. I think it's fine, because it's just like, and you play the games, it feels like it's an endless horde. And actually, Last of Us Part 2 Last of Us Part 2, you actually see the scale of people surviving. Way
a little bit
larger.
more. Well, and like in the first game, there is no town of survivors. There's the cities that are run by Fedra.
Yeah.
There's the city that has been overturned, but there's no like towns of like communes in the same way. Like the commune you see in the show is the commune of Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Which is fucking sweet. And I'm like, bro, take me there.
Take me there.
I'll take the zombies.
Yeah. But anyways, I think I want to kind of touch point is let's talk about that. We talked about episode 7.
Which is that. So that is the lowest rated episode.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
People are stupid.
Yeah,
it's a great episode. I see what you're saying. It's a side story, but it's super important to informing who Ellie is.
Yeah,
it's a great episode in terms of human dynamics. Yeah, there's not a billion zombies, but I like that they show you the zombie wake up right away.
Yeah,
and you're like, when is he showing up? When's he showing up? And then I think the show overall does a really good job making the zombies, one zombie dangerous.
Oh,
whereas in the video game, you have to be able to dispatch dozens, hundreds easily because it's a video game. You have to engage with the mechanics. But here, one fucking zombie fucks people up.
Yeah. And here's, well, I mean, it fucks it up. Oh, it tells you that, man, Riley would have become a terrible Firefly, because like she had a gun. It was like all lined up, and it's like you couldn't make that shot. I know I understand you're scared and everything, but it's like, damn, bitch.
Like, but it wouldn't be much of a show if it's like alternate universe version where her and Ellie take off.
So I mean, I think it's really cool. I also like the dynamics of like, people make a choice to do other things because their situation currently sucks.
Yes,
because I've watched a lot of documentaries about why people become quote unquote terrorists, but in their minds are freedom fighters.
Yes,
it's because they have no other choice.
Yeah.
They live in a world where you can be a dirt farmer and make pennies a day, or you can be a freedom fighter who could actually probably, it's not great.
Make hundreds of dollars a month.
Yeah. And then that's enough to support your family really well.
Yeah.
So I understand that, and which is really cool, because she's like, I don't want to be a guard for sewage detail.
Yeah, I thought that was a neat little detail of like, I'm not going to fucking, exactly, watch people clean up poop all the time.
Yeah. So
fuck that.
Yes.
I have value in this world,
Yeah.
even in this shitty world. I don't want to be demeaned in this way.
Yeah.
I have dignity.
Yeah. So I think that episode worked out really well.
No, I liked it. It's not maybe my favorite episode of the entire season, but it's a great episode. Mm-hmm. The kiss they get is so sweet and so cute. And you're like, I want them to be so happy. Yeah. And then they fucking get attacked by a zombie. And you're like, fuck you, zombie. Fuck you.
Yeah. And I'm actually really happy that didn't show Ellie shooting Riley. Did that happen in the game?
I can't remember.
Because I didn't play that game.
So yeah, that's the DLC. I don't think you have to like pull the trigger or anything, but I think it's implied. It's certainly implied that you know she survives. Yeah, and she has to kill Riley. But I can't remember if you see it or pull the trigger. I don't remember.
But it's fun.
But then the next episode, which might be my favorite episode of the season.
Really,
I fucking love that.
I think episode. My episode 3 is my favorite.
It's a great. Yeah, they're all. It's a like
you could give me episode 3 and I'd be like, I'm good.
On it, well, it's what's one of the strengths of it is it stands by itself.
Yeah,
just like love in the face of the apocalypse. Just fucking love it.
But yeah, episode 8 was to me. I had to like watch it once, and then I had to go. I'm like, did I like this? And then had to like kind of decompress a while.
Yeah,
and then I started going, yeah, that was really good. And then also I had to like read some other things too, because there's some parts I'm like, was that guy a pedophile in the game?
Yes, he was.
Really? Yeah, I just totally not.
It was implied. Yeah. I think it was implied more strongly earlier.
Yeah.
But then in the show, they kind of say it explicitly, you know, like, I like the biting or whatever.
Oh, I like the fight.
Yeah.
I was like, gross.
And it's interesting. So they changed David a little bit.
Yeah.
He's not super different.
He's more manic in the game.
Well, in the game, he's not presented as evil right away. In the show, they show him reading the Bible, so you know he's evil.
I like in post-apocalyptic shows.
Yeah, there's a Christian person.
Yeah, the Christian's like, that guy's a bad person.
But in the game, it's a little more vague. So basically, you know, it's sort of the same. You're hunting the deer, you get the deer, and then they're like, hey, we need it for our people. You do the exchange for the medicine or whatever. But then you actually are confronted with infected. So you and David, you're playing as Ellie, and you and David have to fight a bunch of infected and survive together. So you kind of bond a little bit.
Yeah.
Before you realize that if I remember correctly, it's the same thing. The person you killed in Boston, is one of their tribes people.
Yeah. Because I think it opens like that.
Yeah,
right?
they're pissed.
Yeah.
But it's kind of takes a little longer to realize that David is evil.
Yeah.
Voiced by Nolan North, which is the voice of.
Is it?
Yeah, which is fun.
Oh, I
don't think he's in the show. I didn't see Nolan North. But
and then you have James.
Whereas in the and he's in the game, but he's not a spoken character. It says almost nothing.
Yeah.
But in the show, David is presented as evil from the beginning. Before you even see him interact with Ellie, he's reading the Bible, and it's clearly presented as like a evil cult man.
Yeah, and also too, it's like, you know, when you think about it, because in the game, everyone understands that everyone's a cannibal. Like, we eat people.
I don't think that's true.
Really?
Not everyone's a cannibal. Like, it's still like kind of deplorable.
Really?
I like that the show kind of justified it by showing how hungry and desperate they were.
Yeah.
And like, I love that first scene where it's like, oh, it's venison. And then they drag the deer in, and you're like, oh, it's that girl's dad.
Oh boy. It's like, because like, oh, I thought everyone knew, because I remember reading an article about it, because I had to like remember, like, did they not all know that they were cannibals? I had to think about it. And then some article says like, yeah, you know, he was like hiding it. So I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of like this, where he's like, he's justifying it as leading his people. Like, they won't survive without meat.
Yeah.
And I think that it's shocking in the show when you realize they're all eating that dude that Joel killed.
Yeah, because like, oh no, not just Joel killed, because when kind of Joel kind of wakes up, like you just see like this freezer filled with many people.
Yeah.
But one thing too, I want to point out, because I had to like look this up. When they got the penicillin, when Ellie got penicillin and ran back to Joel, there was one thing I had to like think about too, because she's like injecting the penicillin
right into that fucking hole.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't think that was the right thing to do. Tell us, for our prepper friends out there.
Well, yeah, the prepper friends, if you're going to inject penicillin, I looked this up. Do not inject it into your bloodstream. Do not inject it to your veins. Do it in a area where there's a lot of muscle. So your butt, your thigh, or your arm. That's it. That's it. That's it. You could kind of do it kind of close. So it's
I didn't know that penicillin was injected. I'm so used to antibiotics being like ingested.
I think it's just to a point where they're so desperate they didn't need it. So they're like, oh, penicillin.
But you don't put it right. Yeah, you don't put it right into it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Ooh,
that was gross.
Ooh, that's
that
not
might
right.
be the most like body horror part of the show. Like there isn't much like, you know, like you said, brains splatter on the ground, but like showing this infected wound and a needle going in and like the juice coming out.
I mean, like
I was like,
yeah. To me, I'm like, that's real. That's real.
Yeah, and
no. You see that guy getting his head ripped off.
Oh yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Sure. And I think that the show was effective at showing how she doesn't know what to do. She's like kind of like flabbergasted. She's what do I do?
Where do I put it?
Just shoves it in.
Yeah.
I love that whole scene where he's just so out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I love that sequence where he's so weak.
Yeah.
And she gets in the injections, but he's still, you know, you don't immediately snap to attention. It's not like it's adrenaline or something.
It took him like what, a day, 2 days?
No, he didn't have a day. She's like, Joel, I'm going to inject this with you, but they're coming. And like, they're coming, gives him the knife. And then, you know, the guy's searching through the house and she's done a good job. She put the cupboard in front of the door to hide the basement.
Yeah.
Guy's smart enough, sees it, comes down, and you're like, oh no, Joel, he's not strong enough. He's not strong enough. He's not there.
Yeah.
And then with the minuscule amount of strength he has, he fucking kills all these people.
Yeah. Actually, wait, no. When he killed that first guy, that's when you can kind of see like something's fucked up with these people. Because this is from my memory, is that when I saw that person die, he's smiling.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I remember that.
And it was like, oh, is he smiling because he's like, yes, I get to finally die because this is such a fucked up situation? That's how I thought.
It might be that. I don't know if it's that informed of a character decision or if it was just the actor being like, I'm deranged.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Because it was like, to me, I'm like, oh yeah, it could be that. Or it could be just like, am I looking into it too much? But here's one thing. I think this is the one part I kind of had a problem with the episode is that in the game, it felt like it was like 2-3 weeks. Like a
long time.
Yeah. And this was kind of like, to me, this is Ellie's growing episode.
Yeah.
Which it definitely was. But to me, I'm like, oh, this is the episode where Ellie gets good.
Yeah, because she leads them on a chase away from Joel.
Oh, not even that. The first part of that whole episode on the game was the bunny thing, which I was disappointed it didn't do. I'm like, oh, come on, Neil. Like, you could have done it. Please. I guess maybe, no, they shot the deer. It would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's fine. But it just, to me, I'm like, I felt like it was more like half. It felt in the game, it was like 3/4 Ellie, 1/4 Joel.
Yeah, but this is, you're right. It's more half-half. Like Joel is more involved. Although I still appreciate that Joel doesn't save her. She saves herself. I'm glad that they didn't change that character dynamic. Yeah. Because when she gets captured, tortured a little bit.
They changed it a little bit.
But she's put in that cage. David goes and has this chat of like, you could be my child bride.
Yeah, that was
I'll keep you safe.
Yeah, that's when I didn't know if he was a pedophile or not until I saw that scene. I'm like, ooh, gross.
Yeah, so in the game, I think that scene is more kind of weirdly sexual. In the TV show, he hasn't gone, pedophile yet. He's just like, you're strong like me. You understand like what it takes to lead people. Like you're the first person I can talk about these things with.
Oh, someone made a comment saying that when he was doing that, his like last sermon, and they're like, we found them and we're going to get them back. And that woman's like, let's kill them. And it's like, and that girl goes, yeah. And I can't remember what the girl said something else and he slaps her.
Oh God. Yeah.
And then he's like, you'll always have a father. And I'm like,
yeah, that was weird. I don't like that.
I was like, gross.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's in the thing. They go to chop her up because she does exactly like she does in the game. She tricks him into thinking maybe she's complying, and she just like smashes his face. No, she bites his hand.
Yeah, bites it because he tricks him, saying that, "Look, I'm infected."
Yeah. And
now you're infected.
But then, he smashes her face on the thing, and then they go to chop her. No, that's after because she goes and touches him, and then I think she bites his hand or she like pulls him or whatever.
Yeah.
And she smashes he smashes her face on the bars.
Yeah.
And her and Troy Baker go to chop her up or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm infected.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
And then Troy Baker gets fucked.
And I loved that he just like, you're kind of like, what happened? And then he's just got a big cleaver in his neck and she escapes.
Yeah.
And it's just like the video game. It's a little less long, which is good.
No, they definitely that whole how they set it up. It's like, oh, the video game guys wrote this entire scene.
Yeah, she's running around. She's got to pick up stuff to stab him with. The place is slowly catching on fire.
It literally looked like a video game because there was that one scene where you can see her. She's crouched behind a couch, and you just see him slowly coming towards. I'm like,
That's like a fucking video game.
Yeah,
I will say, I don't think they did a good enough job with the fire of that place. Like it looked fine, but it's like. It's such a more important piece in the video game of like how you're kind of contained to an area.
It was too
like,
short.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I guess it's on fire, and then they doesn't really play into it.
I think that whole scene could have been like 2 minutes longer if just her like attacking him and just getting away. Like just make it to look like a video game a little bit more, and it would just show like the struggles of she's smaller, fighting her attacker.
Yeah.
But ultimately, also that fire went up really fast.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Well, and she, like, man, beat for beat, they do a pretty good job of like replicating moments of it where she's, crawling for the machete or whatever. And it's like, I actually watched that scene in the video game after just to compare.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucking close. But it just kind of happens too quick. And it's so cathartic when she chops him up. You get the close up of her face, and that's her first like full rage moment of just like smashing him.
Is that the first time she? Oh, that's her second meant to kill.
Oh, she definitely she's been violent before, but that's her first like tapping into caveman rage. I'm gonna fucking kill people because I'm so full of pain.
I would say that's her second one because she kills Troy Baker really good.
I think that was like a survival thing though.
Yeah,
that was just like
that's true. This is like, I want to kill my abuser.
But it was, exactly. This evil man that was going to do awful things.
Yeah. I did see one thing that was kind of interesting because I had to read that episode again because I was still determining if I liked it or not. I ultimately did like it. I did wish it would felt more development for Ellie, not emotionally, but skill level.
And I think, I hear you. I wish it felt like it took place over a little bit longer of a time.
Exactly.
One of the rules they teach you in script writing is that you should condense the time into the smallest amount of time possible.
I like movies when they're really expanded.
I agree, and I think that like it can be to a fault when they're like all these million things happen in 3 days.
Yeah, that's
like
one
48
thing,
hours.
Because like the movie, the game took over a year. I think the show too.
Yeah, it's over several seasons.
Yeah,
spring, fall, not like TV show seasons.
Yeah. And I think one thing that was different was in the game, Joel finds Ellie with the guy, like after she butchers him. But in the show, she was outside and he never really saw or understood what
she just sees her covered in blood.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful moment when she's like, I got you, baby girl.
Yeah.
That was like that's Joel and Ellie, baby.
Yeah.
That's fucking Joel and Ellie.
Let's go.
And to me, that's actually was a reminder of something that TV shows and movies can do that video games can't. And that's have humans in them. And I forgot the subtleties and the strength and the power that a human can provide over a video game model. And it's one of those things that's so subtle.
Yeah.
And it's not that video games can't be effective, but there's something powerful about two humans interacting right there.
Yeah.
Instead of, like these layers of technology that have to be, separating the human emotion and the performance of it to what you're seeing on a screen.
Yeah.
And to me, that moment in the video game is not as powerful as the moment in the TV show.
Oh, no. I think also, too, it's two different actors as well. Because, Troy and Ashley, great actors. They're great actors and everything, too. But their livelihood is like usually voice acting. But then you have Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey. They are. Pedro is like, I'm not too sure if he's classically trained, but Bella probably is because she's British and she's been doing it for a long time,
her whole life.
Yeah, whole life. So, I mean, I think video games do like what you say, like a great job. But like for us as human beings, when we look at someone, I'm not just looking at you directly in the face. I can see like my peripherals. I'm looking at your foot. I'm looking at all these things. And to animate that is like probably near impossible.
Well, and it's like they can do an amazing job animating, but like when they do the capture, you know, they're wearing those silly suits and stuff. And like, yeah, they're actors. They can fake it, but they're like people at the absolute top of the craft.
Yeah.
Can do so much, but there's always layers of abstraction or layers of obstacle that will get in the way of a perfect performance.
It's kind of like
so many more layers when you're performing for a video game than when you're performing for a TV show.
I know. I think exactly what you're talking about. It's kind of like you have a layer of saran wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
that's
something,
a great analogy.
Yeah. There's something there that's preventing you from experiencing it fully than having it kind of like in your face.
And I think like the video game can make up for it. Like I feel so much when I play a Naughty Dog game or, you know, I'm trying to think of like a video game where I cried. I'm sure there is one, but I can't think of it right now. On the top of my head.
What game
Jesus
did I cry?
Christ.
Yeah.
But
no, I did. I teared up at The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah. No, and like there's a ton of games that I get emotional with, and I can connect with the characters, like I can connect with the story.
Yeah.
But as a human being, as an animal creature, there's something about watching animal creatures also do the things.
Yeah.
And like there is a part of your brain that sees a video game as puppets. And like they're digitally manipulated puppets. And that's something that we're getting way better at. You compare like video game stories of the 90s versus video game stories of the 2020s. And those digitally manipulated puppets are so much more sophisticated.
And I think too, well, I mean, even the 90s, when they tried to make things look realistic, it didn't.
Yeah.
But when you have storytellers and game developers understanding going, this is not looking realistic. That's why JRPGs did so well. Because they're like, we know that this does not look like a dude, but your imagination.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that video game stories throughout the ages have recognized, or at least, you know, got lucky into recognizing the limitations. Excuse me. They got lucky or just, you know, right time, right place to recognize the way that the medium was limited and finding the stories that fit within that.
Yeah.
And it's like the best video game stories I think of are very good video game stories now can do things that TV shows and movies can't because they can integrate the spectacular in a way that a TV show can't. Like Horizon Zero Dawn doesn't fucking work as a TV show because it's going to be a bunch of human actors and then a bunch of CG fucking robot dinosaurs that are going to look really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But in a video game, because it's digitally manipulated human puppets and digitally manipulated robot dinosaur puppets, it all fits together. And so that world can work in a video game. And maybe I'll be proven wrong and it can work really well in a TV show. But I don't think that kind of stuff works well in a TV show. I actually don't think a God of War TV show is going to be as good as a Last of Us TV show.
It'll be God of War TV show. Oh no, yeah, they are making.
They're making a God of War TV show, and it's like even something as simple as, you know, in God of War Ragnarok, when minor spoilers for the first 30 minutes. First 30 minutes.
Wait. I'm gonna use the washroom. You go tell them.
Okay.
Oh, what's that?
You haven't played God of War Ragnarok?
I couldn't.
What the fuck is wrong?
No, because it came out in November. I was going too close to moving, and I had a lot of work to do.
But you have time now.
I don't have a PS5.
I thought you don't have a PS5?
No, because it's packed away.
Oh, Jono. Okay. Well, I will tell you, audience. Bye-bye, Jono. You're dead to me.
I'll give you like 2 minutes.
I won't even need that long. Just go pee. So early on, this is like first hour spoiler. You're talking with, you know, Thor and Odin, and you get into a fight with Thor, and he smashes you into the air with a hammer, and you kind of have the hammer lodged underneath your chin, and you're launched, you know, hundreds of meters into the air. And it's such a cool transitional moment. You're inside this cabin, and then you get launched. And yes, the CG exists that you could do it in a TV show and or a movie, but it's going to be, you know, fake. There's not like a practical way of shooting that. It's so bigger than life, so much higher than we can even do practical effects for. And I'm sure there's a clever way to do it. But to me, that's where video game storytelling can go, is huge, is bigger than life. The fantasy and the way that, surreal or bigger than life elements can match humanity is better than movies, better than video games, better than TV shows. And the way that it can bring to life your imagination is better than a book. And so that's a way that video game storytelling can be so much better than other mediums. But in terms of just portraying human emotion and like raw emotionality, nothing will be better than a human being captured on a camera, or even more, you watching a human live in person. I think that's why theater is so powerful, is that there is no filter. You're literally watching a human emote with your human eyes. And then TV and movies is one layer of abstraction. It's a camera that you are watching on your TV screen, watching a human emote. And then video games, it's another layer of abstraction. There's a camera that captured a human emoting once, and then, there's a series of technology and or an animator who's taking what that camera saw, turning that into a bunch of graphics that you will then watch on a TV. And that level of separation from human performance to human emotion is the weakness of video game storytelling, but it also allows you to combine, like I was saying, Horizon Zero Dawn story. Are you allergic to cats?
No, actually, so I...
Because your eyes are red.
Yeah, so I went to...
Sorry.
I went to go use the washroom, and I do have an allergy to cats, but usually I'm fine.
Okay.
But I think it's because I had your cat on my lap, petting him.
Cats know. They know if you're allergic. They're like, so nuzzle up.
I'm like, I looked in the mirror. My eyes are like blood red.
It was one than the other. I'm so sorry, dude. I had no idea.
No, I didn't tell you, but I was like, and because like the first 3 times like recording, I'm like, it's fine. And I was like, I pushed it too far.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you had Fanny on your lap for a while.
Yeah. But it's fine.
Anyway, so we get to the finale.
I'm not crying, dude.
I'm not crying.
Maybe when we talk about the last episode, maybe I will be crying.
Well, we get there. Episode 9. It plays out fairly similar to the video game. You approach.
It has the best scene in the whole game.
Oh, what's the best scene in the whole game?
It happens right at the beginning. The giraffe, baby.
Yeah, I was glad that happened. That was a cool little moment. I really appreciated the build up and then the payoff, and like just how sweet and quiet of a moment it is.
Yeah. But you can see, like, I love how they started it. It's just Ellie's just like so like she's still trying to recover and try to get past what happened to her.
Yeah.
Because
she's so distant, but she's not like mean about it. She's just, she's struggling. She fucking viciously murdered a dude who's gonna try and like make his like rape her and eat her.
And also it's like also she has like survivor's guilt building up, and also elements of just like hoping that she can contribute and help to the world.
Yeah.
And just kind of like slowly gets there.
Yeah, and like her worldview is just slowly eroding and becoming like everything is shit. But Joel is trying to reach her and like be chipper, and it's like kind of the first time, he's really
like, Boggle.
Do you want some ice, dude?
No, it's fine. I'm literally holding one of my drinks into my eyes, and it's fine. It's fine. No, I like how he's just trying to be like, he's trying to be a dad. Like literally, this is what dad does. Like, oh, I got a Chef Boyardee, which I was like, dope.
Yeah, I love Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, and then also it's like, oh, I got Boggle. And like, you can beat me at Boggle probably.
And she's like smiling and trying, like she's not being rude. She's just traumatized, and so it's really fucking hard. The scene. So again, very similar to the video game. You walk through, an ex-quarantine area with a bunch of medical tents. In the video game, there's I think bandits are in that area, not zombies. You're fighting a bunch of people, but in this, it's empty, and they just have this quiet scene where they talk, and they just talk. And I can't remember exactly what it is, but you can just see like how much they love each other. That was kind of like the purest love moment.
Yeah, I think it's just like they just they're there for each other to support each other.
Yeah.
And then, it was right after Joel finally tells her about Sarah.
Yeah, he's open about it.
Yeah, and about happened before, and also how he tried, and reason why he's deaf in one ear is because he tried to shoot himself.
Yeah,
which is very like I don't even remember that.
I don't think that's in the game.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. I might be wrong, but I don't remember that being a thing. Yeah, but it's such a sweet moment of like he's like, I'm happy because I found you, and she's like, I'm happy because I found you.
Yeah,
and then I didn't love this. Then the fireflies knocked them out. You kind of just get like the like boom.
Yeah,
and it was like, that's not necessary. They could have just walked up to the hospital. That would have been fine.
No, I mean, I kind of get it because like these fireflies are like those so highly like skittish. I mean, I would, if like in their way, because you don't know who's who, because they don't have phones, they don't have pictures, and then it's being revealed later that half the people that she went with died.
Well, and like I think you're right that the world can justify this act of violence, but I think story-wise, it's a little bit. I think it just takes away a little bit of the agency of Joel and Ellie away, that they willingly would walk up to this hospital knowing the risks or whatever. And I think that's a better story choice, to have them willingly make the choice of going than they get knocked out and dragged into it. And Ellie has all of her agency taken away. She's just basically, she gets knocked out and then it's going to be killed. And Joel is given the option, let her be killed or not.
Yeah.
And I think this actually might be one of my biggest complicated feelings of the show.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job making it explicit that Joel is a fucking murderer in the show.
Oh, it's so good.
And I think it's really nice for the audience to be like, yes, he was doing it to survive.
Yeah.
But dude is fucking like cold-blooded. Like that final sequence in the video game, it's cold-blooded in its own way, where like you have to kill a lot of fucking people.
And he probably killed at least like 30 people.
Yeah, to get to save Ellie. In the show, you see him kill like 3 or 4. But
this
the
one
ways
is
he
like,
does it, he like the first person, he shoots the 2 guys in the thing, and then he shoots another guy, and then he shoots another guy and walks up with his knife and finishes the job.
Yeah.
Guy's like, no, please, please, please. And he's like, boom, cold-blooded, shoots him.
Yeah.
Like, it is vicious the way they do it. And I was so glad that they committed to him being a villain, because that's an important piece in the second story.
I mean,
he's not a villain. He's not evil, but his acts are violent and horrendous depending on your interpretation.
I mean, technically, they did talk about how he has deployed a lot of like really shitty tactics.
Yes.
Because Mom does that time where he's like, how did you know that was a trap in the first Kansas City episode? He's like, we did that. Yeah. So it's like, this kind of showed that the levels of like how evil he can be and how evil people can be.
Yeah, because we've seen him, grizzled, dark Joel, but he's never been like, I wouldn't call him vicious.
Yeah.
I call him, survivalist. But this was like, no, he's a shark in the water out for blood.
Yeah, because like, here's the thing too, is like in the game, you're so used to like killing people. Yeah. It didn't feel like, oh, I'm being evil, blah, blah, blah. No. This one, you see him because you don't have the ability to control him. You can't go, Joel, stop. Just let them kill you.
I will say, and this is perhaps partly because I knew what was coming, but I don't think so. In the video game, it felt like a bigger decision.
Really?
That Joel was like, no, I'm dooming the world for myself.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show, it felt like, well, yeah, I'm going to fucking save her. You guys didn't give her a fucking choice. And I didn't feel as, it felt like Joel was presented as more violent, but not as a darker character. Like, it didn't feel like as selfish of a choice.
I think it looked like he got more selfish later, especially when he was like, Marlene's like pleading with him. And
that's fair.
The doctor's like, I won't let you take her. And he just like shoots.
Yeah. It was funny watching it. You're like, I told Cassie, I'm like, remember the doctor, remember him.
Yeah. She hasn't played it.
No, she's never played either. And like, I want her to play the second one, but I don't think she's into it. I played the intro last night and I was reminded of how fucking good that game is.
Yeah. But, oh man, those kind of weird. Cause like when you played the game, did you killed the doctor?
Yeah.
But did you kill the nurses?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm an asshole. Cause I killed all the nurses and everything.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
I was like, no witnesses.
No witnesses. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Abby's coming for you, bitch. I think that's a good place to end season 1. Yeah. What are your expectations for season 2? Because they now have said that Last of Us Part 2 will span multiple seasons. So how does that make you feel? That
makes sense. That makes sense.
Because you said that the first season you think it was rushed a little.
It felt a little rushed because it was like, I think they needed one more episode, and I think they probably had one episode written, but they probably had to cut it. Maybe. Or they didn't. They cut it because it just didn't feel right.
Well, I think if you padded it out with more zombie encounters, you could easily have shifted things around and made another episode. Yeah. I like how lean the story is. It didn't feel like there's a bunch of filler.
Yeah.
And I know some people are like, episode 3 and 7 are all filler. No, they're not.
It's not
they're
filler.
Important episodes.
Yeah, they're important episodes. Yeah.
And I also really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But I think I could see it being 10 episodes instead of 9.
I think if it was 10 episodes, I think the last episode should have been longer.
Well, I think everyone's surprised because, the finale it's one of the shorter episodes of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like the first episode was an hour 40, I think it was. Hour 20?
Hour 20, I think. Yeah.
So it was really long. My expectation going in was like going to be an hour 20 or hour 40.
Yeah.
Just like how Game of Thrones did it. Like HBO,
usually the finale is the big long episode.
Yeah. So it just kind of like ended and I was just like, it ends like the game. Like,
which is great.
100%. But just like.
Swear to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I swear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. Yeah. But yeah, it just to me, it felt like it missed one episode. I just want like one more episode where Ellie's saving Joel saving, like, I just want a buddy cop episode of them bonding.
Yeah, I can understand that. I am a big opponent to long running TV shows. I like miniseries.
Yeah.
Shout out Chernobyl, 5 episodes of pure gold.
I haven't watched it because I already just knew what happened. I'm like, they fucked up.
So, well, no. So, I mean, yeah, don't do it. I hadn't watched it till recently, but I watched it on a plane. I just binged all 5 episodes. It was
really?
Fucking awesome. It might be like the best fucking show I've ever watched.
Really?
It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Watching everything happen and unfold. And the first episode is there's a few moments that are pretty hard to watch because, you're seeing people fucking die violent deaths because of radiation.
Yeah.
But mostly it's more about the politics kind of behind it.
Yeah.
But it's so fascinating.
Just
it's
the
so
Russians,
good.
Russians like, no, not tell anyone, dude.
When it's an indictment on, socialist bureaucracy.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting.
And everyone just runs away.
Face of, it's specifically about the way that the Soviet Union failed and the way that it was set up. No one wanted to take responsibility and how that, exacerbated things. But I was like, is this an indictment specifically on socialism or communism? But then it was this, I watched it around the same time as the first train derailment in the States where it was like, you were watching city officials be like, it's fine. Nothing bad happened. Don't worry. It's under control. Like almost like word to word, exactly what the people in the show were saying. And it was like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, Craig Mazin, who's the writer.
Yeah.
The HBO side writer on Last of Us is the writer for Chernobyl.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I'm done Last of Us, I'm sad, watch Chernobyl. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. It has the same tones. Oh, not same tones, but like same
aesthetic.
Look. Yeah. Like it's very like brownish.
And I will say Chernobyl is like, I don't want to say this, but I will, slightly more sophisticated. But it's because
that's true.
It's not about zombies, And like as much as The Lost of Us is the most sophisticated zombie story, it's still about zombies.
Yeah, and then also it's like,
and you can tell they wanted to move away from that. That's why there's almost no zombies in it.
Yeah, it's like we want to show that humans are the real monsters,
which is true.
Yeah,
but everyone should watch Chernobyl. It's fucking good.
But yeah, it makes sense that season 2 is going to be. Oh, it's Last of Us Part 2 is going to be 2 seasons because you have to tell a story of Ellie and Abby.
Yep,
you have to. You cannot make that in 9 episodes.
No, God. Well, and it would have been a longer season, but so let's talk about why I think it's good first.
Yeah.
Then I'll give you my theory later.
Is the HBO going, we got to make some more money?
Well, okay, let's get into it right now. Yes, but also they can't possibly get a part 3 ready in time, but if they have 2 seasons, so 4 years total.
Are they going to do part 3?
I think they've been toying with it. So Factions is coming out later this year.
Yeah.
So that's going to be this year, and it'll be hype as fuck. And I think it's, it'd be great if they could announce it like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite ready, but I think that they're like, okay, we got to do Last of Us Part 3, and they want to develop that story. And I think they probably are more interested in the TV show development of season 3 or part 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
But they know they need to get the game done first. And so they looked at the timeline and they're like, we can't do part 3 in 2 years because that's what it's going to take for, season 2 to come out.
Yeah.
But after season 3, so 4 years, 4 or 5 years, we could possibly have another video game ready to go or at least announced. And so you can build the momentum, keep going. And so I think that's part of why they wanted to split it into 2 seasons instead of 1 super season.
Yeah. I still think they just cannot play Ellie and Abby's story together. And also it gives, no offense to Bella, she's naturally just looks very young.
Well, yeah. And she's like, she's 19. She's 19.
Yeah.
Which is about the age that Ellie is in the second game.
Yeah.
And it's not the age thing. It's that she kind of appears young.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see where they cut off the season. I think, so spoilers for his second game, which will also be spoilers for season 2.
Yeah, because I think first
like 4 hours of the game, you're playing Ellie, but you're still in the town.
Yeah.
And it builds up to, like I said, spoilers for Last of Us Part 2, which will be season 2 spoilers.
Yeah.
It builds up to Joel's death.
Yeah.
And I think that's where season 2 is going to end. I think it'll end with Joel's death and her getting ready to go. And I don't know how they could expand that, but I also don't know.
I don't think so.
My first instinct was, they'll tell the Ellie story in 1 season and then they'll tell the Abby story in 1 season. But people won't accept that. It's not like in a video game, you're kind of forced to contend with the stories and keep going.
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden, we cut to, we get through the whole season as Ellie and then it shows Abby, surprising them, and then cut to back, flash forward, and then it's like end of the season, and then the next season starts with a flashback as Abby. And you're like, that's not going to work. You're not going to do a whole season as Abby and a whole season as Ellie. They're going to have to intertwine that story. I don't think they'll be able to get away with doing like a full Ellie story than a full Abby story.
It's going to be so weird because like what stories can they tell a whole season up to Joel's death?
So there's like 4 or 5 hours in the game, and it's mostly story that happens. And so I think they'll show you the town. They'll show you a lot more in the town. They're going to show you Dina and Ellie falling in love.
Yeah.
They'll show Dina and Jesse's love story a little bit more.
It's a love triangle, baby.
Yeah. And then they'll show you more of Abby before they kill Joel. Because like she's kind of a mysterious figure up until she kills Joel.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, fuck. Okay, yes, I understand a little bit of who she is.
Yeah.
And so I think they'll build out that into a full season.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second season will be, or the third season will be Ellie going on the rampage. And they're going to intercut and try and make Abby sympathetic. But I don't know how they'll do it because they can't do the same like mechanics they did in the video game where, you play as Ellie and you're like, I fucking hate Abby. And then they force you to play as Abby and you're like, I love Abby.
Yeah. So, okay, wait. Remind me how the game worked again. So, Last of Us Part 2, you basically play Ellie.
You play Ellie, you're in the town, and
Joel dies.
Yeah, so you start and you go on a patrol with Dina and you're doing all this stuff, and then Joel doesn't report back, and you're like, what the fuck happened? And it's because he came across these people that happen to be looking for him, and so they go and they torture him, and Abby kills him with the golf club.
It's a weird coincidence that happened.
It's a little bit of a weird coincidence, but they are looking for him.
Yeah. But then that happens, then when Joel dies,
Ellie finds his body.
Yeah.
No, she witnesses
in the house. No, she witnesses.
Yeah, she sneaks in and then they knock her up, but they don't kill her because they're not evil. They're just out for revenge.
Revenge because Joel's a monster.
Well, yeah, he killed her dad. He basically doomed the planet by his selfish action and killed a bunch of fucking fireflies who were her buddies.
Yeah.
And so they went on the path to find him and kill him.
I think, maybe he like killed all those people's parents because they're young kids.
Yeah. So like there's a real possibility. A lot of them suffered, family member deaths.
Yeah.
And so she wakes up and she's like, well, I'm going to go fucking find these people and fucking kill them.
Yeah. So, I mean, does it go to Ellie's story onto the movie theater or a little bit in the movie theater?
Yeah. So it basically the next 8 to 10 hours of the game.
Yeah.
You are in Seattle and you're kind of chasing down all these people that are complicit, killing them.
Because
and then you're in the theater. Yeah, Jesse showed up because Dina's pregnant, and there's all this drama.
Yeah,
and Tommy's there too. And then Abby shows up and just fucking shoots Jesse,
and
points
Tommy.
the gun, and then she shoots Tommy, but she doesn't kill Tommy right away.
No, Tommy doesn't die.
He doesn't die.
Yeah, but
and then she points the gun at Ellie.
Yeah,
and then you're like fuck, and then it flashes back.
Yeah.
And then you play as Abby as a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Before her dad was killed by Joel.
Yeah. And then you play Abby's story.
Then you play 8 to 10 hours as Abby.
Yeah. And then it switches to Ellie.
Yeah. Ellie. So you play, and then it's really interesting.
Yeah.
You play as Abby up into back in the same moment in the theater.
Yeah.
But then you play again, you fight Ellie as Abby. Ellie is the monster. She's the villain in that scene. And she's there to kill you, and you're like,
I remember playing that game. I'm like, man, Ellie's a fucking skittish little bitch.
Yeah, and she's like a horror monster.
Yeah,
and it's fucking awesome. And then you get the chance to kill her, and you let her go.
Yeah,
and so she goes back to. I'm basically just gonna say the whole game.
Yeah,
she goes back to the farmhouse with Dina.
Yeah,
and it's like things are fine. They have their kid.
Pause 1 second. So the beginning of episode 9, that was such a shout out to part 2. Because it was the farmhouse, and I recognized that tractor.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's got to be the same farmhouse.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like that's.
Yeah, there's no way it's not the same.
It's a good one. Yeah, but anyways, I just want to pause that.
Yeah,
if you play part 2, rewatch that scene, and you're like, oh, that's the house.
It's got to be the same farmhouse. Yeah. And so you go back to the farmhouse, and Dina, is there, and she's like, okay, well, like we can leave this all behind us.
Yeah.
And Ellie can't. She needs to like finish the revenge.
Yeah. She goes
and Tommy, who like is like has a limp or something.
No, he because he got shot in the head but survived.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I think blind in one eye.
Yeah, something. Yeah. And he's like, you got to get revenge. She's like, no, I can't. Yeah. Anyways, Ellie's like, okay, I got to. She has PTSD and it's awful.
Yeah.
And so she goes and she finds out that Abby is in California somewhere or something. Yeah.
And then she goes after her, but it becomes Abby again.
Well, and you see Abby get captured by people, and so
you play as Abby.
Oh yeah,
and then you get captured
because she basically just wants to get to Catalina Island, where it's like a safe space for people, and she's brought Levi.
Which
is a whole other story that we have not touched, but it's really humanizes Abby, but it's also just a great fucking story.
Yeah.
And then she gets captured and kind of brought into a slave colony.
Yeah.
And Ellie kind of trying to find her, stumbles on and just fucks people up.
Yeah.
Kills everybody. And it's kind of like your power moment in the sense that like you have the most guns, the most powers, and Ellie is just so badass at that point. And so you kill everybody.
But like and she's so badass, yet she's so weak.
Yeah.
Like she looks like she's like 1/3 the strength that what she will used to be.
Yeah.
But no, it's
but then you go and you find Abby, and Abby like helps, is like, why you're here, and you kind of like save her, help her escape. She's being like almost crucified.
Yeah, it is crucified, yeah.
And so her, Levi, and Ellie are escaping, and then at the end Ellie's like, nah, I'm fucking killing you right now. And so you fist fight Abby. You're playing as Ellie, and you're fist fighting emancipated Abby.
Yeah.
And then you do this fist fight, and it's fucking intense, and then I don't want to spoil everything.
It's great.
It's great. And so I think the season break is going to be after the Joel's death and Ellie reckoning with that.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna blow that into 8 episodes. I think it's going to be 8 or 9 episode season for the first one, and then they're going to do all of the Seattle stuff with the third season.
Oh yeah, it is Seattle. Right?
Yeah. And I think they'll. I don't think they'll break off the California stuff for a third season, or fourth season, but I don't know.
I want to say you're right, but I also want to say you're wrong. Because here's the thing. I don't see how they can fill one entire season of like 8 episodes until Joel's death.
I think they'll do some flashbacks.
They might do some flashbacks because there is a lot of stuff.
And I mean, like, there's one episode in this first season that is, a controversial episode, but a lot of people fucking loved, including myself.
Yeah.
Where it's not really part of the game. And I think they'll build out stories like that.
I can kind of see that because you have to show the spaceship scene. Yeah. You also have to show the reveal of how Joel did kill everyone. It was not Raiders in the hospital. And Marlene's dead. And then, actually, shout out to like the Marlene episode. It's like, please don't kill me. Oh, just let me go.
Yeah.
Boom. I was like, oh.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to, there's like a shadowy figure when he's doing the shootout that is probably Abby. It's probably a little foreshadowing. She's got like a little puffer jacket and she's got the big long braid.
I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah. So it's just like a shadowy figure that kind of runs away.
Oh shit. I got to go.
And someone slowed it down and like brightened it. And it's like, if you can find it on Twitter.
I got to look
shout
at
out that it's probably Abby.
Yeah. But I think. Yeah, I can maybe they'll do a short season, like up to like 6 episodes.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Is like I don't think you're right. It's not 8 or 9 episodes, but 6 episodes would be fucking perfect.
Yeah, you can do episode coming back to the world. Why is Ellie mad at Joel?
Yeah.
And then maybe you do Dina and Ellie episode.
Yeah.
And then they do going out patrol.
Yeah.
and then a spaceship one, and number 6 will be a combination of Joel revealing the truth, and then Joel dying.
It's hard
in the same episode. In the same episode,
it's hard because when you put it down like that, it's like, there might not be enough content, and I might be wrong. I just don't imagine that they're going to do a mid-season kill off of Joel. I feel like it's going to be a end of the season, like
makes sense. It makes sense. I think it's going to be like up to, maybe they'll do like the total series will be like 3.5 seasons.
Yeah,
maybe like they will do a California, but it'll be like 3 episodes.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know how they'll do it.
They'll do Abby getting captured.
Yeah.
Ellie going to rampage, and then the last episode just like a sum up of everything, and then like 10 minutes of a fight.
Yeah, and then they'll announce Last of Us Part 3 for the PS6.
We're like, yeah!
I hope so.
I know. Yeah, so, overall, I really enjoyed the Last of Us show. It has proven that video game stories could be good enough to be TV shows and adapted well.
100%. And like I said early on, I was upset because I feel like it's an insult to video games that, they can't tell their story super well. And I think most video game stories exist to make a bunch of money and just capitalize on an IP. But it reminded
Genshin Impact.
It reminded me that there are shortcomings to video game storytelling, and that the same weaknesses aren't shared universally across TV shows and movies. And so there can be stories in video games that work in parts even better as a TV show. And I found that with The Last of Us. There was moments where I was like, this is better than the game.
Yeah.
Overall, if I was to rate the show versus the game, at the time of release, I would have rated The Last of Us higher than the show. Sorry, I would have rated
you're like,
what? I would have rated the video game higher than the show at its time of release. But I don't think by watching the show, you are missing out in a meaningful way on the story of the video game.
I think you're just missing out really cool gameplay.
Yeah, but I don't think that the strength of The Last of Us Part 1 was its gameplay. It's good gameplay.
No, it's good gameplay.
It's good.
Yeah.
But I think it was like the story was the crux of it, and the performance capture, and the way that it's intertwined into everything.
Yeah.
And I think they got the spirit and the important parts out of the video game and translated them very effectively into the TV show.
Yeah. I still think they're both very good, and it's kind of like unfair to like go which one's better.
Yeah, it's not apples to apples.
Yeah, it's not apple. It's like, which fruit do you like better?
And it's like the TV show
orange
will always have the advantage of this is the second retelling of the story, so they can see the things that they missed and like they can improve on it, and
they can change things because they made Tess actually like more depth this time.
And they know where the story is going, so they can make little adaptations to prepare you for that.
Exactly, yeah. And I think the game, but if you're gonna go storytelling wise, I think the game did a better job showing the relationship build of Ellie and Joel, because you had more time and you have more subtle dialogue. Because I remember this one time, I think Ellie was like shooting a rifle, but Joel was just like going around killing guys, and she was covering him.
Yeah,
and you can hear like little subs going, "That a girl," like all those little things that will build that he's proud of her.
Yeah,
and she's doing a good job, so he develops that relationship. Because I did see like, yes, they love each other, daughter and father, etc. But I didn't feel like the relationship was stronger than what I saw in the game. But you have way more time between those two in the game.
Well, I think that's a strength of video game storytelling is player agency draws your emotion into the characters. And so you feel personally invested due to like your involvement in that character's relationship and like in protecting Ellie. And so like as a gameplay mechanic, you have to protect Ellie. I mean, like she's not vulnerable in the sense that she'll die or whatever.
Yeah.
But as a character, you're playing this person that has to protect her.
Yeah.
And so there's an extra level of your participation that I think adds to your attachment, and then also your sense of attachment to Joel's love with Ellie.
Yeah.
That the show can't replicate. And that's a strength of video games. But I also think that there's these really powerful moments in the TV show, their performance, where they just like looked at each other and like We're just like, I love you so much. And they don't have to say it.
Yeah.
And because there's no performance capture, it's literally just two people emoting with each other. The video game never quite got those moments quite right.
Yeah. It's just like what we're talking about, like just saran wrap. It's like
it's
a little
bit of saran wrap on top of the performance.
Yeah. But
and The Last of Us Part 1 is still one of the best video game stories that has ever been told. It's absolutely fucking fantastic. It's a great game, well worth playing. It's not worth paying $100 for. Fuck you, Sony. I really want to play Part 1, but I'm not going to pay $100. Put it on PS Plus, baby.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised it wasn't on PS Plus.
It seems like such an easy.
I think Sony did a misstep. They should have put it on PS Plus, and they should have got like maybe bought a commercial during. Or I know it's HBO, so there's no commercials.
No, but at the end it's just like, hey, play it now.
Yeah, it's on PS Plus, and you can play other games. Boop.
Exactly. If you get the highest tier of PS Plus, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you were to rate The Last of Us Season 1 out of 10, what would you give it?
I give like 9.3.
9.3?
Yeah, 9.3. It just like if it didn't have episode 3, I would give it like 8.8.
Yeah.
Because I think episode 3 just made it. You just told a story that makes Bill so much more likable.
Yeah, he's a real character, not just like a piece of shit. That's
He's
like kind of funny.
Yeah.
And like he's funny and like you get it. But I think I much prefer the portrayal in the show.
Yeah.
I'd probably rate it around there. I think I rated episode 1 an 8.9. I don't think I was ready to crack the 9, but I think at the finale, at the end of it all, it cracks the 9.
Yeah,
it cracks the 9 for me.
Yeah, because I mean, like the last like episode 9, the last like 30% of it is like 1-for-1 game. It's like that's how it was in the game. Shoots Marlene there, and then drives away into kind of a Durango.
Yeah.
And then
they hike and stuff, and he's like trying to be chill. And
he's like, "Hey, let's do this."
Yeah, this reminds me of Sarah and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, Sarah was a scam. Like it like literally was him just trying to be like, don't ask too much, please. And I think 9.3. I will stand on it, but maybe we'll come back in a year and I'll be like, what did I? Because I'll probably rewatch season 1 again before starting season 2.
I could imagine myself watching it again. I probably wouldn't watch it as intently. Like this was my weekly watch.
This was not my weekly watch.
I have several. Yeah, you binged it. I love watching weekly shows. I like having lots of shows on the go.
Yeah.
I still have to finish Poker Face. I got Drag Race.
Okay. So we're done talking about The Last of Us.
Yes.
Let's talk about something else a little bit, and then we'll end it.
Yep.
I downloaded Poker Face. It's my next show to watch.
Hell yeah, brother.
But right now, because my dad's home. So we've been watching like stupid action movies and stuff again.
Hell yeah.
So we have like Chris Hemsworth's Extraction.
Oh, sure.
Like pending.
Yeah.
That movie's dope. And The Gray Man. And we just finished The Gray Man today.
Nice. You already watched that movie.
I love that movie.
There you go.
You know what? Yeah, I just realized there's something I thought about. I like action movies, styled action movies, because like Extraction is really raw and gritty, but Gray Man is like kind of like gritty but style.
Yeah.
I appreciate action sequences because I'm more behind the scenes. I'm like, I wonder how they pull that off. Like how many days did it take? That's how I appreciate it. Not because like, oh, it's so sweet. I'm like, how much previs did you have to do?
Well, it's so funny because sometimes I'll make a comment watching a show. I'm like, oh, that lighting is off, or like that lighting is so cool.
Yeah.
And Cassie's just like, do you ever enjoy a show? And I'm like, that's me currently enjoying the show. Is talking about the lighting.
Yeah.
Like, I love breaking down that shit. So I totally get that. Like, oh yeah, what was the previs like on this?
Yeah, even like I got Jillian to do. It's like some of these seems off. Can you watch this? And I'm watching. I'm like, sounds off.
Yeah.
And she's like, really? I'm like, listen to it. And she's like, oh, like what's that noise in the background? I'm like, they didn't get good ambient. You should do it. What's it? The after recording or dubbing?
Well, ADR.
ADR.
That's like the dialogue or like the audio. Like the audio.
Oh, they should have ADR that shit.
Because Foley is when you do like the mic with making the sound effects and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I like, dumb action movies. I'm on record for fucking loving Mission Impossible 4, 5, 6.
Wait, 4, 5, 6. Ghost Protocol. Rogue Nation?
Rogue Nation, Fallout.
I did not like Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation you're right. That's the weakest of those 3.
Yeah.
But 6, buddy, that movie's a banger ass.
Yeah, well, I mean,
movie.
easy. No, you know what I like? I still like Mission Impossible 2 for how stupid it is.
I agree. I feel like people come down way too hard on that movie.
Yeah.
But it's fucking awesome.
I love how John Woo has so many stupid doves in every movie. Holy shit.
Yeah. And it's just like slow motion motorcycles flying at each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's a stupid movie. And I get why people would be upset after the first one. Because the first one is like, it's a thriller. It's not really an action movie.
Yeah.
And the second one is just a stupid fucking crazy action movie.
Yeah.
But I love it. I think the worst one's 3. 3's fine.
Which one's 3 again?
That's the one to see Philip Seymour Hoffman and his wife's a big part of it.
I like that.
It's fine. No, but it's just like it's the movie with like the least to me.
But here's the thing. It was a good movie to bring the interest back to Mission Impossible. Here's what J.J. Abrams does really well, is he brings attention back to old property. He's the reboot king.
He is the reboot king.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
But then Ghost Protocol like surpasses Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
But Fallout was the best fucking Mission Impossible bar none.
I will say this time and time again. I hope Henry Cavill comes back as like
dead.
A super guy.
And I mean, like, you don't see him die. He kind of dies off screen.
Well, I mean, they
Spoilers
did something
for Mission Impossible 7. Sorry,
whatever. But the thing is that like he does like he gets burned in the eye, and they really concentrated on that. I'm like, oh, I want him to come back and be like, I'm back. And like he just went like half a face, like yeah,
the mustache that fucking killed the CG machine.
It's only half mustache because he got burnt off. Oh,
God. That movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm up to date on Picard now.
Yeah.
So season 1 of Picard, we wanted to talk about it before the podcast, but we were going to save it because I want to hear your reaction. Season 1 of Picard sucks.
Really?
It's bad. So
yeah,
it's the most modern Star Trek. It focuses a lot on a character that I think, I don't want to mean to the actor, but I think just lacks the charisma necessary to carry a franchise.
Which one? Right? Oh,
Soji.
Yeah.
I didn't really connect with that character.
No, here's the thing. I connected to the badass sister, then the little like wiener one that falls in love with a Vulcan. Oh, yeah. Romulan, yeah. I'm like, wiener.
And so not only is it the show starting off on the wrong foot, but having, Patrick Stewart or Jean-Luc Picard be frail and old and have like a mental degenerative disease.
Yeah.
It's not fucking fun to watch, man. I don't want to come back to Picard, 20 years after the finale and have him be sick and dying.
I just want him to make confident decisions and maybe kick a little ass here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so the first season, gets it kind of all wrong. Yeah. There's a few decent moments and it's like
7 and 9 is pretty cool.
Is she in the first season? I can't remember.
Yeah.
She is? Okay.
Yeah.
And like spoilers for Picard season 1, the way they bring Data back, sort of.
It's so lame.
No. The scene where they kill Data.
Oh,
real,
yeah. No, that was fine. That's a great scene.
But yeah, everything before that's not.
I just don't like a data commune. Like
that was bad.
I'm like, this is weird.
Like the fucking space laser to summon super robots from another dimension was fucking stupid.
Well, oh wait. Oh that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Stupid.
Yeah, and it's like space flowers. Like really?
Yeah. So season 1 not worth watching. Yeah.
Thankfully,
every season is kind of an enclosed story and does not require the previous season. So season 2 is slightly better.
Really?
And it does my favorite Star Trek thing, which is come to the present and be stupid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I enjoy it's way more silly and lighthearted.
Yeah, okay, let me just say, like, okay, everyone who's listening, reason why I didn't finish season 2, I watched the first, 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, fucking Q.
See, I love Q.
I love Q, but I just, for some reason, I was not in the mood for Q.
Well, and they don't do him justice. He's not as great as, at TNG Q.
Yeah.
So, but season 2 is pretty good. They bring Guinan back. Both Whoopi Goldberg Guinan and then young Guinan.
Nice.
And it doesn't register as Guinan to me, but I still like that character. Yeah. There's lots of good stuff in season 2.
Yeah.
They do a little bit of heavy-handed, political commentary that just felt like kind of low-hanging fruit where, I can't remember the captain names. Chris. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
He, he's a Latino man in space, but when he comes to the present time, he's an undocumented immigrant. And so he gets brought to a detention center and has to go get deported and shit.
Really?
And I enjoyed some of that stuff.
Yeah. It just highlighting how good it is in the future.
Or just how bad it is now. And it's Star Trek is best when it is making political commentary. So I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But it just felt kind of simple.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the season 2 was pretty good.
Yeah. No, don't talk about season 3 because
I just want to give minor. So not even spoilers.
Yeah.
Season 3 is great.
Really?
Because they get rid of all of the other characters, and it's all TNG characters now. It's all
even 7 of 9's not there.
Well, it's TNG's, or she's back.
Yeah.
But she doesn't count because she's in Voyager.
I just love because Voyager is a great show.
It's awesome.
Actually, just thinking about Voyager. Did you see Terran's tweet?
No.
He's like, I just want Voyager where like the damage is permanent and someone always dies in every episode. I'm like, dude, you're just describing FTL. Just play FTL.
That's so funny.
Faster than light. That's all. That's what it is.
Yeah. I think Voyager's great.
Yeah.
But season 3,
yeah,
they do away with all the like bullshit, and it just feels so much more like TNG.
Did they get rid of like the Romulans who are helping out in the vineyard, who are also assassins?
They're not even part of season 2.
Really?
Yeah, they like that's just like all gone.
I thought it was kind of cool.
It was okay.
I'm like, he has like
Jem'Nadar.
I
can't remember what it is.
Oh, that was stupid.
Yeah, I can't remember. But season 3, it's like they bring back a lot of the TNG actors, and then the dynamics are a lot more what you want. And there's moments of high conflict, but it doesn't feel cheap drama the same way that Discovery or early Picard did. It feels like it is people doing their fucking best.
Yeah.
And these are enlightened, smart, capable people facing these impossible situations.
Yeah.
And, it's hard, and they get at each other, but they are mature and experienced, and they are trying their fucking best.
Yeah.
And it's hopeful again, not like dark and like Federation's actually kind of racist. It's like, no. They're really fucking trying, and they're doing good, and these humans are better than us.
Is it this the typical trope of like, an admiral is the bad guy?
Well,
God damn it!
No. It's not like that, because that's season 1 where they're like, actually, Federation's evil.
No, because when you think about it, it's always like the admiral's like always the bad dude.
Well, yeah, in what is it, Khan?
Khan.
There's the evil.
Yeah, evil.
Well, it's not Khan. It's Into Darkness.
Yeah, whatever. I think the secret country or hidden country,
undiscovered country.
That's Admiral. Even in like Star Trek Lower Decks,
is it Admiral?
It's Admiral's a bad guy. It's like, fuck, come on. He every time I see Admiral come up, like, you're the bad guy.
You're the bad guy.
Yeah.
No, it's I would recommend season 3 Picard. It is still
Orville. And Admiral was a bad guy too.
Of course it is. Season 3 feels much more like it's not TNG.
Yeah.
And it's not as good as the peak of TNG. And I don't think it's as good as like the Orville at its peak, but it's much closer.
Yeah.
And it gives me the fan service that I want. And it's what's great is, like I said, each season doesn't really rely on the previous one. So you could start you could start at 3 and you would be fine.
So I still will watch season 2.
If you made it through season 1, that was by far the worst. Season 2 is slightly better, and season 3 is better than that.
I still kind of like season 2 because there was enough kind of cool action that kind of kept me, except for the last like 2 episodes. I'm like, boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I will watch season 2 and 3. But hey, okay. I will watch season 2 if you watch Below Decks 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Sure.
Yeah.
I forgot to do that, but I can do that.
It's a super easy show.
Sure.
And they'll kind of like, they'll primarily kind of like standalone. There is kind of like an overarching story, but it's just like, he just wants to become like better.
Sure.
Like he wants to get promoted. Like that's all it is. Like him trying to get promoted. Which is great. But what else am I watching? I'm watching some American Auto.
Okay. Sure.
Have you watched that?
Nope.
It's just a comedy like about the auto industry
and
executives, people who make too much money.
I love rich people.
Yeah. And also I'm watching, because Jillian did it, How I Met Your Mother again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I've watched.
Even when you know the ending, you're still
I think it's just because it's so stupid. And it's just like background noise, like I can just have in the back.
That's fair. There's a lot of sitcoms that exist in my life that I'm not really paying attention to.
Yeah. And then, other than that, nothing else really. Okay. I'm really like looking forward to watching Super Mario movie.
Yeah, that new trailer is looking pretty good.
We should watch it before I go.
When is it? Isn't it
April 5th?
Sure, I'm super down.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm not excited for that movie. I think
it looks better now.
And it could still be bad. But I think
if I have to suffer through Chris Pratt's voice for everything else, that's cool. Because Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. Charlie Day is Luigi.
That was a great cast.
Yeah, like everything's good, like really cool. But if Chris Pratt has to be Mario, you know what? I've been asking for this movie for like 30 plus years. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely will see it.
Yeah.
And I hope to the gaming gods that it is good. But it won't be as good as The Last of Us. I can tell you that.
I know. We're going to have to talk about it on the podcast. Anyways.
You will?
Yeah, because we only have about... I think that might be the last episode before I move.
Last of it.
But yeah.
But until then, you can reach us at
Let's
Wing Pod. Let's Wing It Pod.
Let's Wing It 22@gmail.com. Let's Wing It Pod Twitter, which is the same on Instagram. And then,
or what's our Patreon?
Our Patreon. Actually, wait. I should actually call out Patreon members.
Yeah, shut up.
Oh, Drumettes.
Matthew Noonan.
Matthew
Daniel
Noonan.
Quasar.
Mike.
Mike's number 2.
There's a lot of people. Oh God. I had this all prepared, and then I got the allergic reaction.
We're at 10 now?
Yeah, we're at
That's
10.
bonkers.
We're 10 Drumettes.
Is that $1 to join?
$5.
$5?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I got.
Jesus Christ.
I got. So we got David Curry.
Shout out David Curry.
Briggs Wellman.
Shout out Briggs Wellman.
We got Kimaru.
Shout out Kimaru.
Yeah.
You have to match your tone.
That. Guillermo Navarro. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Guillermo Navarro?
Yeah. Cody Owens. He's
Shout out Cody.
Cody Owen. Sorry, no S. He's our newest one. And Ethan Lowe.
Shout out Ethan Lowe.
And also Mike.
I'm high on Ethan Lowe.
You know what? All you guys know you're there. You guys are great. You guys are first 10 Drumettes. Yeah. So if you guys want to join, all it is, you get some like fun photos. I'm probably going to like post a photo of me.
Pics.
No dick pics. Stop it. I
can't shot me.
I got to keep deleting them. No, I'll take a photo of me being like fucking super allergic to cats. It's so bad. I actually feel better. Like I feel fine now.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, because you were definitely itchy eyes.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm like, why are my eyes itchy?
So itchy.
I go use the wash. I'm like, I see. And then maybe we'll try like, what do you think about getting that episode we recorded?
Yeah, we recorded?
Yeah, no, we recorded
on the video.
The video.
I'll get that at some point.
Yeah, you know what? You can just do snippets. Do snippets.
I should do that. The problem is I edit on this laptop and I can't do video because I usually do. So what I do is on Tuesday, I drop Zoe off at her sewing class.
Yeah.
And it's like 2-ish hours. And so I'll bring this and then I'll edit at a Starbucks nearby.
Got it.
And then I pick her up and go. And so if I edit it at home, I'd have to figure it out to do with the video.
Maybe
I should do the video.
Maybe what we do, if we get enough Drumette supporters, we get you an Apple.
Oh.
We'll get you a MacBook.
I mean, yeah.
A MacBook.
I don't know if I want a MacBook.
No, you want a MacBook.
That'd be pretty cool. I'm too.
Yeah, I have one.
You have one? Oh, yeah. Fuck you, Marquez boy.
Yeah.
Marquez boy.
MKBHD.
Yeah, when's the Marquez going to be on the podcast?
Yeah.
I actually was like almost like, I should get Linus on the podcast for something. I don't think he would do it, but there was something I wanted to talk about that I was like, he might actually want to.
Are you talking about this podcast?
No, he doesn't care about The Last of Us.
Yeah. No, you're talking about like Let's Wing It. Or
yeah.
I
was like,
okay.
I was like, I bet I could get him to talk about something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is though.
We can probably talk about. What would he be?
I doubt he would though. I think it'd be too complicated if he started doing yeses to outside of work podcasts.
Or just tell him.
I might be able to.
Yeah. You know what I would like to do? Actually, no. One future episode I brought up to you that we're going to probably do. It's about canceling.
That's exactly culture. The one. I was like,
oh, okay.
I wonder if we could. I think he's probably too on edge about being canceled that he wouldn't want to talk about. But I bet you could get him on for like 20 minutes. If I was like, hey, Linus, you can record from home, but if I video call you, will you give me your thoughts?
Yeah, get almost like a near miss.
I'll ask.
Yeah,
I'll ask.
Because just TLDR, I think cancel culture is
stop. I'm canceling this cancel culture criticism. We will save it for that episode.
Yeah,
we have thoughts.
Yeah,
and I think I have very different thoughts than you, which is going to be interesting.
No, because we've had this debate before.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about it.
All right, cool.
Until then, goodbye. I love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.